Guys, you literally had it and you jumped into the fucking lock. What's going on, guys? You had it. Dang, maybe next time. I think I say that every time, maybe next time, and you guys still blow it every time. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a crazy episode of the Vtuber review. Look, it's a 6-second delay, okay, bro? I believe in you. I believe in you can anticipate for 6 seconds. Come on, you can do this, guys. Guess what? It got worse. It always gets worse, dude. It always gets worse. However, chat, me flinging up the screen aside, we're going to be discussing some pretty heavy topics today, all right? So, it's about... Girl, you're fucking fired. Get the fuck out of my stream. It's 6 seconds, not 7. It's at 6-7. I hate it. Kuro, you're fired. I'm sorry. I didn't want this moment to come up. You're done, dude. You're out of here. See you later, chump. See you later. Oh my god. We have so much to talk about today, chat. It is pretty fucking wild. We gotta discuss what's going on between Lala and Rev says Desu. And I gotta tell you guys, a all-out war took place over on Twitter the other day. So we're gonna take a look at that. We're gonna look at the fallout as well, because it looks like a lot of people are leaving Advanced GG. So we got to look at that as well, guys. Very, very crazy. We're also going to be talking about more issues with... That is right. We're going to be looking at more issues with our culture.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Sorry, one of your messages distracted me. We're going to be looking at some issues going on with our culture. I know we've been talking about our culture quite a lot. But this definitely has to be... another rung in the ladder, chat, of all the problems that have been going on with our culture. There was multiple documents put out about that. Well, now Hydra Waifu has put out her experience with it, and it's not a good look, chat. What's Advanced GG? Advanced GG is like gamer subs. They're like a smaller gamer subs, basically. So, what's up, Vincent? How are you? Welcome in. We're gonna look at that. We're also going to look at this really fucking weird tracker that's been going around, chat. This weird VTuber ovulation tracker. Yes, that is right. Somebody made an ovulation tracker, and, very, very divisive views on this. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about the ethics. Actually consulted somebody that gave me their thoughts on it. Medical-related advice about this as well. So... very interested to share that with all of you. Talk about this tracker. Yeah, it's weird, dude. It's weird. So, oh yeah, no, I'm on there. Yeah, I'm on there. Yeah, so no, I'm on there. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Three big topics today. Of course, a little bit of corporate news, a little bit indie news, etc. I imagine, though, chat. Even though I don't have a lot of news for you today, I gotta tell you that what was going on here with Lala and Rev is probably gonna take most of our time. We're probably gonna have a pretty heavy discussion about it. So, even Moody's on there based on my Twitter. Yeah, I mean, you can just go look on the website, right? Weird but funny, just kind of laugh at it instead of getting angry. I mean, like, when I saw it, right, I was like, yeah, that's weird, but, like, I'm not, like, I guess I'm not, like, losing my mind about it. But I have some things to share with all of you that you might want to think about, right?
I found attractive cycle. Literally zero like WTF.
I got you. One of the few things I'm not including in the Vtuber thing, that's I Miss Me. Yomi's on there as well. I mean, we all love Yomi, but she isn't able to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, and even the information they're pulling is like inaccurate. I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys. Like, you know, I'm on the pill. I regulate myself, so like, I get to choose when I have one, right? Like, so what the? It's just stupid. It's like, I don't understand why they did it, right? Just because you can doesn't mean that you should, right? And there are a lot of ethical questions, you know, surrounding it, right? I consulted, I'm a medical professional as well. It's like, you know, what are your thoughts about this, right? And I got some things to share with you. That's good to think about, right? But again, like, just because you can doesn't mean that you should, right, chat? So, like, what the fuck? It's just weird.
We already knew the elf was breedable.
See, like, okay, Darth, you joke about that, but I want to point out something, right? This is not a period tracker, chat. Remember, this is a ovulation tracker. To me, that implies is somebody fertile or not, right? Which implies to me that's kink-based. So that's that's very different, right? So that's why I'm like, you joke about it, right? Like, haha, elves are breedable, haha, but like, when you really look at it, you're like, is it kink-based? Is
that's
it like
creepy?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it implies like intent maybe, or nefarious reasons. Like, yeah, there's you assume China knows the difference. Yeah, I might have to have a lesson because I don't think people do the difference between ovulation and menstruation either. I'm like, oh my god. Did you guys take sex ed? You're being crosses a line if somebody is not okay with it. And I think, Nid, that there's definitely two sides of this coin, right? I can understand if you're not okay with it. And I can also understand that if you put this information out in public and somebody scraped it, I can see why you're mad about that. But also, you gotta be careful what you put out into the open, right? So there's certainly two sides to every coin, which we are going to discuss, of course. But guys, just be careful with what you're putting out there on the internet. Like, I don't know about you, but growing up, that was like the first rule I fucking learned. Like, you got to be careful what you put out there, right? Some people laugh at it, some people find it offensive. Honestly, I'm at all of us taking this. Yeah, we're going to look at all of it. We're going to look at all of it. So you're just scraping tweets.
It's
with
literally
keywords.
None of our business,
You know?
where a woman's cycle.
I agree.
It's incredibly
I agree.
invasive and disgusting. And this is coming from me.
There is potentially the ability to use it in misogynistic fashion as well, to basically be like, oh, well, you're on your period, right? And based on the ovulation tracker. Sorry, but I've already seen an example of that, so it is actually true. I mean, again, I look at it and it's not like the biggest deal to me, but I can understand how certain people would get really upset at this. So we'll talk about it, you know? Again, this is somebody's health issues or private health matters. I don't know why we're sharing that information readily, you know? So, don't be so snippy just because you're ovulating. Yeah, exactly. And I've already seen that. I've already seen that, literally. Well, now that's my question, right? Just because you can doesn't mean that you should, because what is the intention, right? And again, as I pointed out, this has more to do with a ovulation tracker. So it sounds like to me, they're looking to do something that's implying like fertility. That's probably made for a kink, right? It's probably made for some kind of nefarious reasons, right? So I don't know. We'll talk about it. I get a lot of different takes. Some people do. Some people don't care about it. Other people do. I think I fall somewhere in between, but people these days really need to consider how much issues they share on the internet. And that's my other thing about it too, Farrah. If you're sharing that information on Twitter, right? Unfortunately, people can publicly scrape that information, right? And that sucks. That really, really does suck. I think that there is a nuance. So I'll give you a good example here, chat. Let me take a sip of my tea. So let's talk about nuance for a second behind that. So just because you share something on your Twitter doesn't necessarily mean that you want consent for something like that, right? Now, obviously, because you put on Twitter, well, it's public information and anybody can touch on it, right? But that doesn't mean that you are consenting. So, especially when it comes to health-related issues, right? So I'll give you an example. If somebody posts news, right, chat, and they post an article and they're like, oh, yeah, like, you know, here's this article and I cover it, right? And then later, or they come into stream, whatever, right? And they're like, hey, I don't want this covered, right? Ethically, morally, I would be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to cover that or I'll remove it from my VOD. Even though, yes, it is publicly available to be looked at and talked about and covered by anybody, I believe ethically that I should not anymore. Does that make sense? There's a difference, right? You got to balance that. And it's in a sense like this as well when it's coming to somebody's health and sensitive information. I think it's one of those instances where it's like, yeah, nah, you don't need to get that information, right? So news. What did you think I said? Yeah, what do you think I said, dude? There's a difference, right? So you have to be respectful. Or at least attempt to be respectful, right? And in this case, this is definitely not coming from a place of respect, right? It's just like, why? It's just weird to me, dude. Exactly. Like, it's just being ethical, you know? And in this case, let me ask you a question. Do you believe capturing this information is an ethical thing to do? Yes or no? I would argue it's a violation of privacy. I would say it's not ethical. I think most people would say no, right? That's the same thing with docs information too, just because it's technically public. It can still be spread maliciously. Exactly. So, I will say a lot of the information on there is very poorly pulled. Like, I'll show you my example, where they don't even actually have anything to do with my, ovulation, right? They pulled information that is inaccurate. And I'll show you why, but, yeah, exactly. Anyway, yeah, regarding medical information, yeah, that's not something you should just be throwing out there, dude, at least in my opinion, but I don't know. I think it's weird. I think I think the bigger issue is sharing it. Absolutely. I mean, again, why is this being put together? That's my question, right? Like, it's weird, dude. It's fucking weird. Like, I don't get it, dude. I don't get it. So, anyway, we'll take a look at it. We'll talk about it. And, of course, we do have to really rip off the Band-Aid here with this stuff with Lala. And, of course, Rep says Desu. And I know a lot of you have told me you felt very strongly one way. However, people feel the other way. However, Chad, I want to point out something here that I don't think anybody's covered today. At least up to this point that I've seen. Also, what is wrong with my face? There's something about this whole situation that I have not seen anybody talk about. So to bring it to your attention today, again, I believe that there is always two sides to every coin, right? There's nuance. However, I'm going to tell you, chat, straight up, Rev did wrong here. And I'm going to show you why he did wrong. And I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to show you how he could have taken 2 seconds to actually find out some additional information where he would not have made such a strong assumption that was just factually wrong, right? Like, I've said this once, and I'm going to say it again, Chad, so listen to my words. If you're going to go after somebody, you better damn well make sure that you're right. And in this case, he was not right at all. Yeah, an odd choice of words. It's not an odd choice. It's my opinion, right? It's not an odd choice of words. It's I chose these words carefully. I think that Rev was wrong in this one because not only did he direct the argument to something completely different, the argument that he sorry, my headphones are being weird. The argument that he made, he could actually research for 2 seconds to actually find out why his argument is wrong. And again, if you're gonna go after somebody, you better be damn well sure that you're right about everything, right? If you're gonna go after somebody, you have to make sure that your argument is sound, right? I don't go after people unless I'm very sure. You gotta do your research, you know? Everybody should do their research. No way to search if Beetle actually is on the How is Beetle on the tracker? Again, I think he just scraped information, right? Whatever information they get their hands on, that's what they did. I would phrase it differently. How would you phrase it? Let me ask you. Yeah, I think the tracker is meant to be a meme, but I think they overstepped. So that's why I'd say that it is, that's why I say it's weird, right? Oh, Beetle sends her to fake page. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I'm like, how the fuck does that work? But then also, like, somebody pointed out as well, like, how the fuck is Yomi out there? Like, I mean, I was watching Rob's content a while ago. He's such an asshole, in my opinion. I mean, Rob, I will say this, right? I've been supportive of certain stuff that, you know, Rev has said, right? He's had, in my opinion, some good coverage on certain topics, right? But for every good one, he's also had bad ones as well, right? So, I think that every situation needs to be approached with nuance, and every situation is different, right? But I mean, for instance, like when he talked about powder, for instance, right? I always use this as an example, right? But I do think that, you know, yeah, like he was absolutely spot on about powder, right? Like powder really did a very poor job in going after the person she said was impersonating her, right? Obviously, she had some nefarious intentions, and Rev called that out, and I agree with that, right? But in this situation, I don't agree with him, right? So, oh, yo, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you, bit. It's either when a random celeb you dislike gets out of for a valid reason, and now you have a legitimate reason to dislike the meme here. I mean, like, again, I think that people can have bad opinions, right? Good people can have bad opinions, and bad people can have good opinions. And all of the, you know, nuance of that in between, right? But I think that we do need to talk about this particular situation, just because it's important it's important for us to discuss, not only because, yes, yeah, it's got a little political air to it, but it's also important to discuss because there's a really big knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people do. And I don't want you guys to do that, and I don't want to see anybody doing that. And that's why we should talk about it, right? So we can learn together, right? But also, like, I feel like Lala has been nothing but an incredible, wonderful creator in our space. An inspiration, a person that actually goes behind the scenes and tries to better the community. You know what I mean? Like, this is literally like, I don't know, the fucking, like, Captain America of VTubing, you know what I mean? So I just think that going after her already is kind of like, okay, well, she better really fucked up, right? And in this case, she didn't, right? And on top of that, Rev could have literally looked at her profile for 3 seconds and disarmed his own argument, by the way. So, yeah, it's weird. It's weird, Bit Lover. We're going to dive into it. I got you, but it's just weird. It's having Twitter, you expect a full, well-articulated thought in every post over there? No, absolutely not, Dan. Absolutely not. But I do think that if you're going to quote retweet somebody and call them out for something, your argument better be sound, right? Especially if you are a larger creator. That's all I'm saying. I like Miss Lala. I can imagine her pumpkin potion. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's bad feet. I'm going to try and own Lala over a heat device. Dama, I'm going to be honest with you. You can put the politics part of it aside, right? You don't even have to talk about how Lala said fuck ice. You can put that aside. What I want to focus on, actually, is the fact that he went after her for her character design, which is very strange because he constantly preaches about the difference between reality and fiction, right? So why is he going after her? You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of his big things that he preaches about, he really undermined his own argument right there, you know? I'm just saying that's how it looked. What do you mean? Oh, you mean, well, obviously, like, he was upset that about her political stance, right? Trying to point out some kind of hypocrisy. But when he did that, he actually opened up a whole can of worms facing towards him as well. So I just think I think his argument was very poor. You like 50s designed there for you to like everything else in the 50s. Exactly, Dan. But there's a real smoking gun that I want to talk to you guys about that I'm going to show you that literally disarms this whole argument. So he went after politics. That's it. And much more of his supporters are calling it a poor Lala. He went after politics. That's it. That's not true. That's actually not true at all. And I'm going to show you why. And I'm going to show you why that actually is such a huge problem about the whole thing. So, went into the character design is a definite. Exactly. He went into the character design.
Bran, going after
Obviously,
the
he's politically
design is the
motivated, but
definition of ad
he went after her
hominem.
character design. And so we're going to talk about that. It's not completely false. Yeah, it's not completely false. And that's actually why I think his argument was so poor as well. Anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because you got to look at everything, right? Wording seemed like it, but the fact. Well, and that's what I'm actually going to tell you, Warren. Yeah, maybe. Sit down for a second. I got you, bro. So, the reason that he actually, in my opinion, it was problematic is he moved the conversation from something that was political to talking about character design. And because he moved this goalpost so much, this actually has to play into a lot of my argument as to why he was incorrect in a lot of ways. So, anyway, I'll get there. I'll give it on to you. What's all right? How are you? Yes, exactly, Warren. Exactly. So, let me cook, bro. I got you. Yeah, let me cook a little bit. So, I'll show you what my thoughts are about it. But of course, guys, I do also want to look at what's going on with our culture. Who remembers? Who was here? Who was here when we covered our culture fucking over Milky? Do you guys remember that? Yeah, let me cook, guys. Let me cook. I got you. Cook on the charcoal grill of making steaks. I got you. So we are going to be discussing hydrated waifu. She also had issues as well with our culture, which really sucks to hear. So obviously we want to cover it, give her some support. So we'll take a look at it. Yo, thank you. Hope you're doing well too, Russ. How are you, sweetheart? Yeah, really, really sucks to hear. I hate that, guys. Anybody getting taken advantage of like that? I hate that. So trust me, I got a lot to say about this Lala situation. I mean, so many notes. And I normally make a lot of notes, but this one I have like paragraphs of notes. So let me cook, guys. I got you. Goodness, I took a sleep medicine last night. I'm fucked up, guys. It got me so bad. I gotta drink some more water. Literal essay on my notes, dude. Literal essay. Well, like, again, this is a very heavy topic, right? So, it requires that. It requires that much nuance. It requires so much notation, all that kind of stuff. No, honestly, Dan, I didn't sleep not last night, the night before. I took some sleep medicine, and it always messes me up, but I have to sleep, right? So, whole situation is so stupid. Literally nothing happened. Rev was being brainlit with his takes, and people overreact to him. We'll talk about it. we'll talk about it. I'm gonna soul Miss Lala versus Red Thing. I'm curious of what you got it from it. I'm normally not able to catch your streams. Absolutely, I got you. I mean, I'll tell you, Samurai, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm very much on Lala's side about this. And I'm gonna do this very rare thing where I talk about politics because I'm not a politics person, but I feel like there's a time and place to speak out, and this is probably the one. So, how does it mess you up? It makes me very, like, you ever take, like, an allergy pill that makes you really drowsy? That's what's going on with me. I feel very just kind of loopy. And that's what always happens. I feel very, like, disconnected from my body. But I'll be fine. I always, like, once I start streaming, kind of moving and getting into it, everything gets a lot better. So, I was saying, even looking at the screen, I could just imagine you doing the head back and forth thing. Yeah, I literally was. I got words. I got things I want to share with you, and we'll discuss it all. But I'm disconnected all the damn time these days. I don't blame you. As soon as she was told to stop completely, she turned her car in. When she was supervised, so turned her force to testify. But what? Oh, we're talking about some of the other stuff. I'm gonna tell you where this tweet came from with Lala, and then we're gonna talk about it. A second round of politics within a month. This has become dangerously frequently. I know. Well, I gotta say this stuff with ICE is very serious, chat. Very serious. And sometimes, I mentioned this yesterday, but sometimes you gotta look at what's going on, right? You gotta decide, do I want to take a stand? Do I want to discuss this kind of stuff? And I think that in the time and the place and the space that we're at, I think this is the time I'm gonna have to, speak out, chat. So I do this very rarely, but with everything going on, I think that we're at a point. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna cover that too. Some of the trauma managed to leak to end on my timeline. Preface one is people only see on my timeline when they're dropping some stupid or vitriolic. I don't even know if vitriolic was a word, but I love it. Vitriolic political take along with the other one. Kirsch, I believe her name is. Yeah, we're gonna discuss Kirsch as well because she had some things to share about this whole situation as well. So yeah, Vex doesn't even feel comfortable traveling, and honestly, I don't even blame her, dude. I literally don't blame her. I'm like 100% understandable. Like, protect yourself. It's not worth coming to the States right now. It's really not. So, don't blame her one bit. But yeah, we will absolutely dive into this. One thing that I do want to say, chat, is, because we're going to be talking about the ovulation stuff as well. Guys, just be careful with the information you put out there. People are going to scrub your stuff for some fake ovulation calendar. Imagine what people do with even, like, actual information, right? So, can I begin to tell you how we've been stressed out? I've been with Batari entering the States. Yeah, exactly. Well, Kirsch had some stuff to share about it. Because we're going to talk about a lot of people leaving Advanced GG over this. Now, I don't know how much this is true, but apparently Rev is very high up in Advanced GG. As far as I could find, basically he's just a larger creator for them. That's pretty much all I've seen. I have not seen anything that indicates he's like a partial owner or anything like that. But feel free to send me something if you know. I haven't seen anything like that, chat. It's absolutely a very scary time. So, yeah, I mean, as far as I can find, Advanced GG is a, they're like gamer subs. They're like the original gamer subs. But he only seems to be one of their biggest creators. So, very reminiscent of the, remember when a lot of people were going after Kirsch for the gamer sub stuff? And I feel like what people were doing was they were targeting, they're basically like, oh, gamer subs, like, take away her sponsorship. But now people are just stepping away from Advanced GG, which I feel like is probably the right way to do it this time around. So, but anyway, we'll discuss it all. So, guys, you know what to do. Let's dive into it. You know what to type. And we're going to hop right in, guys. Like I said, I have a lot to discuss with all of you today. So, first up, guys, I do want to discuss all our bands, debuts, graduations, all that good stuff anyway. So, here we go, guys. So, first up, guys, big news here with Shy Lily. Actually, Shy Lily getting one of her videos restricted due to nudity and sexual content due to a Jiggly Capybara song. That is right, guys. Let's take a look here at the clip. Team YouTube are going on to target her video because of this as well. So let's go take a look here. I'm not going to blow your ears out. Here we go.
love physics.
So why is she getting smacked for this, right? Of course, Lily goes on to say 18 plus video because of a coffee mascot. Shit's so cooked. Of course, she absolutely did not deserve that at all to get her video age restricted over this very small issue of just literally a jiggly capybara, right, chat? Well, Team YouTube actually, can't believe I'm going to say this, actually decided to make things right. Apparently, Team YouTube went in and said, so sorry for the confusion on the timestamp. Our team reviewed the video and confirmed the violation actually occurred at a different time point, 3 minutes in, 28 seconds, not related to the capybara dance. So allegedly here, chat, it does look like that was not actually the case. It looks like it was something else. And of course, Lily says, oh, that makes more sense. I blurred it out with your editor too. Thank you so much for your clarification. I can't believe we live in a timeline where Twitch explains what's actually wrong with their website. That is crazy, dude. The fact that it actually got the wrong time, though, is really wild. But they did actually answer, did actually work with Lily to make things right. So I gotta say, rare W from YouTube here. If we can get more of this, I think we'll be moving in the right direction, guys. Holy shit. Holy shit. Ultra rare W, right? In other news, guys, in case you've never heard, this is Rin. This is Rin Asabi. And Rin actually was a very, 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 very early VTuber. One of the earliest VTubers that I actually remember debuting back in 2019, chat, celebrating New Year's as well. Very, very classic, well-renowned VTuber, right, chat? Yeah, very, very old VTuber, right? So, known for, of course, just playing games, doing fun, just chatting. Very old, classic VTuber. Well, chat, yeah, this is kind of like a, I don't know, in my brain I was like, holy shit, I forgot about Rin. Well, guess what, chat? Rin actually going on to say, where am I? Is anybody there? That is right, guys. So it looks like Rin is going to be returning. Rose saying, I remember seeing you around when I started VTubing back in 2018. OG VTubers rise up. Oh my god, it's been 5 billion years. And of course, holy for a throwback, she's back. Again, one of the OGs, chat, literally OGs. So very, very cool to see Rin back. I was certainly update you, but I'm trying to think of a good example. This is like, not quite like Kazuna Ai coming back, but almost like that, right? It's like, holy shit, dude, this is a OG. Yeah, grandma coming out of retirement, exactly. That's a great way to put it. So, Rin is back, chat. Very cool. In other news, guys, we're also going to check in with Triggerfish, who is going on a bit of a hiatus, or all these streams will be moving to Gorilla and unscheduled till further notice. I'll be heading back to London for a difficult mission for a while. I'm still searching for a base, so the first month may be a little rough, but I'll stream whenever I'm able to. Streams might be a bit scuffed until I have a stable setup again. Definitely makes sense if you're traveling, moving back. So wishing you all the best here, Triggerfish. And we'll see you soon. Yeah, almost like PewDiePie. That's a good way to put it too. Of course, checking in here, guys, with Cosme Peachy from Vtuber. It says, thank you everybody for your patience. Recently, some of you know, I become very ill. My illness has progressed to the point, despite my best efforts, I won't be able to participate in the currently planned Venture streams for the foreseeable future. Currently, my mother is helping take care of me, and if things get too severe, I might temporarily move back in with her. I may not have access to my setup for a time. That does suck a lot. It's unfortunate this is happening at such an exciting time. Yo, what's up, Farah? How are you? Exciting time for VD. I wish you could be more involved, so please give lots of love to the girls for keeping everything rolling and help to promote the auditions in my stead. I would really appreciate it. So, no, that's the face I creeped out. God damn it, dude. Yeah, this hiatus is sponsored by Cerveza Cristal. So, anyway, guys, I give Masmi lots of love. Hopefully, she'll be back soon. Of course, also, guys, we got to check in over King Pinup, who also says hi. So after February 3rd, I'll be taking a definite streaming hiatus. I'm sorry about the abruptness of this. It's all very sudden for me too. But due to some of the rapidly progressing events, it's going to be difficult for me to devote any further attention to my streaming activities. So, again, wish them all the best, guys. Really hoping the best for them. And hopefully we'll see them soon. But it sounds like things are going on in the background. Time to step away. So, totally understandable. In other news, guys, Hades is graduating, guys. It is so sad. Can we pour out one for Hades, please? Hades is graduated. Her final stream was yesterday. However, it's so weird. She says, "See you later, Space Cowboys." This totally unrelated account, but retweeting saying, "Oh man, I wonder where she went." Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know why she would tweet that, chat. That's very, very odd. But I mean, they are Hades' #1, fans. So maybe, maybe they might have to do with them or something. I don't know. Yeah, Cersei going on to say, "Wait, oh my God, I'm dumb." Don't worry, so many people still have no idea. So very crazy, chat. Yeah, totally unrelated to Hades, of course. No relation whatsoever. And other news as well, guys, we got to celebrate some partners. And that is right, Chibi Cotton Bum actually getting partnered as well. Big congratulations to her. We're actually going to be hanging out with Chibi soon, chat. I'm excited to vibe with her, so she's super cute. Yeah, there you go, Daniel. Hi, how Hilo was the first message in Hades' message, yep. Hades even rated Hilo. Wait, really? That's so based, I love that. So congratulations to Shibi. Very, very cool that you got partnered. Of course, in other news, guys, after 5 years, we did it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. First partner stream tonight, and they're coming from Mori Desu. So big congratulations, Mori, on that amazing Twitch partnership. All right, guys, so I got some events to tell you about, then some debuts. We'll hop down to quick corpo news, and we'll hop into our news, our main news here. So first up, guys, let's take a look here at Avirita, who is actually doing something she calls a Gleekathon. Spend the whole day during the Gleekathon relay with 10 VTubers singing songs to the TV show's Glee. Let's take a look, guys. That sounds exciting.
I don't know why I always have to do it.
A Gleekathon. That's so cute.
Time it was like an itch I just had to scratch. Whenever I hear someone singing a song like that, I just gotta say it, you know?
Oh my God, this is great, dude. This is
That
perfect.
song on Glee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then can I finish showering?
No,
Yeah.
I love this, dude. This is such a fun idea. I love this. This is so fun. I hope you guys will check this out. Yeah, on the 31st. I'm going to try to swing by too if I can make it. This is so funny. Right now I'm going to get demonetized from this song. I promise. I promise, Jeff. Yeah, Bree's in there too. Did you hear her new song? It's so funny. It's very like Kesha-like. I was listening to it this morning, so very cool. Of course, in other news, guys, we're also going to check in here with Oshibar. Oshibar is actually doing a special meet and greet coming up at WeebCon. So WeebCon is, of course, coming up April 3rd through the 5th with some familiar faces. So every chat, I want to point out, this is actually, most notably, the first meet and greet since Cinder has been back. Yes, she will be there at the Gaylord Texan Resort coming up for WeebCon 2026. So, pretty big deal, chat. Pretty big deal for, I know the Cinder fans are going to be very, very excited for that. So, there you go, guys. Also, Numi rarely announces all these, but Numi is actually doing a special, don't do that, guys. Yeah, don't look, if you don't like her, that's fine, but don't press the boo button. That's not cool. Another news, guys, checking in here. Just look like Numi is actually going to be doing another in-person concert going down at Camille's at the Bellwether of course, in Los Angeles on Saturday, February 28th, 9 p.m. So go check it out if you're in that area. Go give Numi some love. That's very cool. Yeah, dude, I'm over this Cinder stuff. Like, I'm over it, dude. So, of course, also, guys, in other news, Boger is holding his own event called the Boger Bash. And, of course, one of your team captains is Doki Bird. So, Doki W! I mean, I'm losing my hair over it. It's so cool. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, exactly. So, big W to Doki. I hope she wins at the Boger Bash coming up tomorrow, guys. Very exciting. So, let's go, Doki. Now, some debuts that you all need to know about, chat. First up, we're going to check in with Grand Pico from Face Connect, January 28th, which is today at 10 p.m. onwards. I'll be unveiling an unofficial 3D model. So, made with pocket money from Pico-chan herself, and non-official operator-led 3D model. We're calling it unofficial. So, we're going to go check it out. Go give her some love. Very exciting. I kind of like that she's willing to do even an unofficial debut. That's really fun. Another news as well, guys. Lazuli is also doing their second outfit debut coming up this Saturday at 5 p.m. PST. Let's take a look, guys. Well, whatever your main is Marvel rivals, just don't go 0-5 with Black Widow. Make sure the vibes are good. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Like, as much as I cover that story, dude. The vibes, man. What are the vibes? Oh my god, I love this trailer. Fish. Looks like a kaiju. I love it. Look, those people are horrible people. I'm sorry. They need to be like true villains. Like, alright, so we're getting to kaiju. I love it. So go certainly check out Lazuli on her debut chat. Of course, also, Aliyah is doing her very own debut. Surprise announcement, new outfit coming to 14th of February. Also, a cookie for anyone who finds or reads a super secret message. There's probably something really small. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'm too stupid to find this out. But big congrats to Aliyah. I get excited for her debut. Let's go. Also, guys, of course, we have Xiaomi Sea Slug, who is doing their 3D model debut in 4 days, January 31st at 9:30 p.m. CST. Obviously, showing you their 3D handsies. Very exciting. So you can go give them some love. Coming up very soon. Your 3D nails look perfecto. And then finally, of course, guys, we have Mim, who is doing their debut coming up the 12th of February. Let's take a look. No, but I am actually stupid. Yeah, Kira, play the fucking music. Dude, if that was a DMC8, I would actually play that all the time. Like, I'll take this tweet and I'll hyper focus on it. Very, very exciting here for, of course, Mimfter, not Mim. Mimfter is her at. So give them some love. Very cool. Alright, guys, so I got a little bit of news to share with you at Corpo. I promise it's not a lot. And then we're going to dive into our big stories, okay? So, first up, guys, let's talk here for a second about Hololive and Mori Calliope. Mori actually going on to see my secret mission revealed. Thank you, Kinty-san, for inviting me to sing Golden Balance in Fatal. Stop blowing me up, chat! I know, that's why I wanted to clarify, just in case. They actually ended up performing together at Ariaka Arena. The show was killer. And of course, we have the Mori Calliope badge. And of course, her plushie and her wand as well. So very exciting that Mori got to be a part of that. Congratulations to her. That's a huge, huge honor to perform alongside Kinty, right? So very cool. Of course, also, guys, the venue for, Kiara and Ina's concert, Drawn to Dawn, is opening up additional seats. You can buy those tickets starting tomorrow, or at least PST time. So get excited. This is going to be a huge, huge concert. I'm so pumped for this, dude. So pumped for this. Of course, Ina also did have a little bit of issues going on here with her album release. So Hololive Records going on to make a statement about that album release. Let's take a listen. Lara, I'm gonna let you cook. Yeah, I'm gonna give you this. Lara, why don't you cook and tell us what's going on? But unfortunately, guys, there was a delay in the release of the album.
Regarding the digital release of Ninami Ina NIS first EP Revision, during Ninami Ina NIS live stream on January 8th, Sun, it was announced that the release would take place at midnight JST on January 27th, Tuesday. However, due to an error in the music distribution settings on the management side, the release could not be carried out at the scheduled time. We deeply apologize for the inconvenience caused to our customers.
That definitely sucks, right? Especially when you're trying to get a whole album out, and then of course you have like these issues. That really, really sucks.
We have once again
that's kind of a
adjusted
big
the
deal,
music
right?
distribution settings and will proceed with the digital release at midnight JST on February 2nd, Monday. We are truly sorry for the trouble caused and
really,
kindly
really big
ask for your
setback.
patience.
Not being able to release
Notice
your
an
album on
apology
time.
regarding digital release.
That sucks. So, really wishing the best here for Ina. I hope that doesn't really like affect her sales or anything, but again, this is going to be coming up February 2nd instead of yesterday, Chad. So, I definitely wish her the best. Of course, also, guys, the Tokyo guide for Hololive is here. So, if you would like to actually get a guide to Tokyo, well, lucky for you, a lot of the Holo talents are part of that. And this is actually with Hololive English. As you guys know, there are a lot of Hololive ambassadors for Tokyo who will give you special guiding and kind of facts around Tokyo, make the trip more fun. I think this is super cool. So again, we do have HoloFest 26 coming up very soon. So this is something to kind of help guide you through Tokyo, which is very exciting. So, and then finally, guys, I did just want to mention one more time the second part of the Monster Hunter Wilds and Hololive collaboration. As you guys can see, there are prizes in a cafe running. But just take a look at this artwork, dude. It is so cute. I love the new fucking outfits that they made for them. These are so fucking cute. So you can actually go and visit the special Monster Hunter location. And they have all these prizes, the cafe, all kinds of stuff. It's super cool. This is the second wave of talents that they've done this with. And it's so awesome. I love it so much. I'm not even a Monster Hunter person. And I think this is so fucking cool. So, very big congratulations to them. And I've seen a merch for it. It is so cute. It is so cute. In other news, guys, I do want to mention to you something here going on with a few groups. And then we'll dive, of course, into our news. So first up, chat, is a new group on the block called Ephemera. Ephemera is debuting their brand new group coming up on Sunday. So really all we know about them is a dream alone is the only dream. A dream you dream together is reality. Independent VTuber group turning dreams into reality. So I'll let you know more about them. I don't know what the talents are. Nothing's been revealed yet. So I'll keep you up to date on that one, chat. In other news, we have been keeping up with Floratelier. Floratelier is a Europe-based VTuber group. However, they did announce all of their members. So we have Captain Camille. Of course, we also have Anako, who is their second member. We have Beepy, who is their third member. We have Mabel, who is their fourth. And Sylvie VTuber, who is their fifth. So very exciting to see all of these members come together for this new VTuber group. Of course, also, we did get a big update here from B Fleet, talking about their new wave, announcing, of course, Long Live Libertas, official revealing coming on the 31st. So, very, very cool. We got 5 new talents to look at and support as part of B Fleet. So, again, I'll give you all that news that I can, chat, and we get some of the stuff revealed. And the last thing I want to mention to all of you today is what's going on here with Oshi Spark. Well, first up, Oshi Spark saying, did get a venue ticket from Mental with Love. Don't worry, streaming tickets are now available. And of course, you get that VOD for 30 days after the show. But this is kind of small news compared to what I'm about to tell you. I hope you're buckled up, chat, because this is wild to me. That is right, guys. From the Mental with Love event, they have an additional special guest. Well, yes, it's her, the queen herself. Baba is going to be from Mental with Love. Dude, that is actually insane, dude. Insane. Bro, that's crazy. That is wild. I'm very pumped for that. That's very, very cool. On top of this too, right, chat? I gotta give a lot of respect to Oshi Spark for actually announcing this after all the tickets sold out. I think it's super based, right? They didn't use this as a way to like promote the event. They're just like, this is a special extra thing, right? So, oh yeah, first concert, by the way. First concert. Dude, this is so cool. So, very big congratulations for Saminto and Saba and everybody going to that event. I hope you really enjoy it. It's going to be a great time. I promise. This looks so cool, dude. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous, chat. So fucking cool. Alrighty, my loves. So today, we are going to be diving into one of our main topics. And guys, I just want to remind all of you, especially today, I know I talk about a lot of things going on in the VTuber space, but I want to remind you, especially today, because we're going to be discussing really heavy topics. Do not attack or go after anybody, okay, chat?
Before we dive into today's story,
I'm playing the
public
PSA.
Do not harass anyone. Do not be mean. We are here to discuss today's story in a very positive and informational way.
Guys, I don't want to see any of y'all in the Twitter comments being inflammatory. I don't want to see any of y'all going after people. I've seen some of y'all recently. I have. I've seen some people recently, and I have taken action. I've had to. So, guys, don't do it. I will see it. I will find you. You're not unique. You think that I won't see it? I will absolutely see it. I will see you try that shit, and you will be dealt with. I do not allow that stuff in my community, all right? We're here to talk about it. We're having a discussion. Don't be an asshole on Twitter. Don't be that person. So, the first up, chat, I want to talk about what's going on with this weird fucking tracker. That is right, guys. We're going to talk about a VTuber ovulation tracker. Rock Solid, of course, tweeting out, just found out there's a website that tracks ovulation and menstrual cycles of female VTubers. And of course, here's a screenshot of that actual website, which is up, by the way. I checked it this morning. It is up. You can access it. Of course, people like, question mark here. Of course, have like, wondering about what's going on. I said, how? Like, how are they pulling this information when I've never actually provided that information? The website is down. I checked. Is it down right now? Because I just checked this morning and it wasn't. I can weep. He's like, just let my gargoyles know my period is ending today, letting you all know for no reason at all. This shit is weird. Anyone looking for this information needs to be on the fucking list. Of course, Kitty says it's one of you, etc. Right? So it's very, very weird, chat. Very, very weird. Now, I am going to tell you this. A lot of people are divisive about this particular topic, right? Some people are just think it's, funny, ha. Some people are like, that's weird. Some people are very outraged about it. I feel like it falls somewhere in between, but I definitely can see why people are upset about it, right? So let's take a look, because I want to show you all of the reactions, or at least some of the reactions to this, right? Of course, this person says, creeps making an ovulating tracker website for VTubers. How can I make the... okay, whatever, I'm not... GB, about to start working, about to start tweeting about my tummy pains. Every day, so the VTuber ovulation tracker short circuits and confusion. She's so irritable. I wonder why. Oh, this is what I was talking about, right, chat? This was the one where I'm like, that's misogynistic, dude. The fact that somebody took the time to make the VTuber ovulation tracker is weird to me, but the fact that I keep seeing VTubers saying it's completely inaccurate is either have inconsistent cycles or the evidence was unrelated. Somebody taking me out. Smuggleana says it tracks what? I mean, again, chat, it's just like, why was this made, right? What is the reason? So I want to go look at a very strong reaction to this particular issue, chat. And that does come from Shikai, right? Shikai is very, very upset about it. Whoever added me to this shit, whoever made this website, you're such a piece of shit. And I hope you will break your bones. Well, you learned coding to create a fucked up website. 1, it's fucking creepy. 2, seek therapy, you freak. 3, it's so disrespectful toward women. Can't grown-ass men rather touch grass than make women's life miserable. Of course, on top of that, guys, there have been several replies. Even people like Parent4chan saying site is based on public information posted by the VTubers themselves. How dare you do math and keep a timetable? Stop posting about your period then. If you want privacy, stop making your life public. So here's what I want to say about this, chat. I'm gonna hit you with some information here. So number one, the stuff that is on that website is 100% based off information that they scrubbed, right? And I'm gonna show you why that is, right? So let's go take a look here. We're gonna use myself as the example for today, chat. Yeah, we're gonna use, because I'm on there, right? So let's go take a look at mine, right? So here is mine. Bitch, I'm on the pill. This isn't even accurate. But on top of that, the one tweet that they pulled says observation type menstrual phase, right? And it says source from my page. Well, let's go take a look at the information that they pulled. Period cramps be like, this is a meme. When a period cramps randomly hit. This is a meme, dude. I wasn't actually, I don't remember, but I extremely highly doubt that I've been on the pill since then, so it's gotta be inaccurate, right? So why is this used as the basis for this, right? So this isn't even accurate, dude. This isn't even accurate. Like, what the fuck is this? It's just weird. It's odd. Why? But what I will tell you all, chap, is you gotta be careful what you put out there on the internet, because yes, people will do this just like they fucking did. Barrett is absolutely right. People are going to take public information like that and they're going to scrape your stuff and they're going to use it to make a period tracker. And if you think that's the weirdest thing, I got some bad news for you. They're going to make even weirder shit out of it. Weirder shit with their personal information. So guys, please, please, please protect yourself. If you don't want something talked about or shared, do not put it on Twitter. Do not put it on Twitter. Do not, right? I understand you might want to talk about it in bit or whatever, but Twitter is not the place. Please, guys, please. Do not do it. Do not do it. That said, however, why the fuck is somebody doing this, right, chat? Why is somebody gathering this information? That's crazy. That's crazy. So, I'm gonna give you some thoughts, some food for thoughts here, right? So publicly talking about your own issues, right? Especially like medical history, health-related matters. That's not giving consent to track your health for whatever the fuck this is, right? And I personally think that this is for something nefarious, right? Remember, this isn't a period tracker, right, chat? This is a ovulation tracker. That implies fertility, right? That is most likely related to a kink. You know what I mean? Like, nobody needs to know this information. Health is already protected by law in a lot of ways. So even though, yeah, you can discuss with who you like, it really doesn't give a consent to be used, right? So there's ethics. There's an ethical way to treat information, right, guys? And in this situation, this isn't ethical. This is just, it's weird and it's unneeded, right? I'm sure that they meant it as a meme to be funny, haha. But it's not cool. It's not cool. Again, yes, do not post your personal information online. Be careful, because people will scrape it. But it still doesn't give you the right to go in and pull this information, dude. Especially when it's about health. It's weird. It's weird. It's creepy. You're talking about ovulation. I'm pretty sure it's kink related. If it's not, it's for a meme. Like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. If this is for, like for me, like when I looked at this, right, I'm like, this is one of this weird, creepy tracker that somebody made for fun. At best, right? At worst, it's something kink-related and really weird. So, for memes, are you serious? I mean, I don't know their intention, Panther, right? So, if they made it for memes, they fucked up bad. You know what I mean? Like, this is not what a meme should be, right? As a male VTuber, I'm gonna start making posts about my ovulation to fuck up the tracker. I think I saw, like, TV Donkey said something like that. Exactly. Even as they're created for, like, a non-nefarious reason, it's going to be used for a nefarious reason. So, I would imagine this is made to be funny, haha. But it's not turning out that way. Yeah, it's not turning out that way. Again, publicly talking about your own issues that are regarding medical history really doesn't give consent for people to track that stuff, right? It's like I told you. Let's say that I'm covering something news related, right? and I'm talking about it, we're blabbing about it, and then all of a sudden, somebody comes in that is talking about it, it's part of them, they are the subject, and they say, please don't talk about it, right? Or, I don't want this discussed. Even though, yes, it is public information, ethically, I'm like, you know what? I will not cover this because you asked me to, right? And that's just part of understanding, like, morality, ethics, etc., right? So, just because you can doesn't mean that you should, right? Even though that public information is out there, when it comes to health stuff, that's not the right call, you know? You know what I mean? And then trust me, Tuxedo, let me give you my statement on this, right? And at best, at absolute best, this is supposed to be a meme, meant to be like a funny haha, but at worst, it's some weird tracker to track people's fertility levels for a kink, right? So, and again, I don't know what the truth is, whatever it is, right? But I'll give it all to you from A to Z, so you can decide, right? Obviously, looking at this isn't ethical. It's not needed, right? What was the point in doing this, dude? Like, it's weird. It's creepy. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of inaccurate information. I mean, Megalodon's like, what the fuck do you mean somebody's talking about ovulation, right? Alicia goes on to point out something very interesting as well, which I didn't even think about. From a person who works in sex crimes, this has the potential and risk to increase sexual violence. That's true, right? Absolutely, that's true, AM. That's a good point.
I saw people tag me. I want to remind you that I had uterine cancer and am still
I
recovering.
didn't even think about this as well,
I
guys.
actually haven't had my period in a very long time, over a year, because of my intensive hormone therapy to prevent me from getting cancer again. I won't even have periods again until I stop the treatment and am trying to get pregnant.
Didn't even think about this.
So that my body can produce the hormones without me having to take them, while pregnant. Remember, women can go through non-regular periods and many different things when it comes to their bodies. Please ask for consent before adding a Vtuber to the site.
Yep.
It might be a more sensitive topic
and this
than
is
you
so
think.
true, right? Especially with what Alicia went through, right? With her treatment and stuff. It's not something that you would want to pull that information out, because it's an extremely sensitive topic to her in particular, right? Because she had cancer, she's still recovering, etc. Like, this is so gross to look at in that context, right, chat? So I very much just think that, yeah, even though this might have been meant to be a meme, it's just like, nah, dude, this ain't it, Especially looking at that through the eyes of Alicia as well, which I didn't even consider, right? Of course, so they said that it went down, but it actually is back online. Yeah, Yomi's on there as well. I mean, like, so something that got pointed out here by Magical Miso, which I thought was interesting. I found the site and noticed something very peculiar. In the rules section, they're located in New York, it seems. They're saying no doxing or identity speculation. Do not connect two personas unless they themselves publicly affirm the connection. All talents and visitors site must be at least age 18 plus. Nothing on this website is medical advice. If you're in pain, please consult qualified professionals. Do not spam troll. Do not be a nuisance to the girls. Do not mention or cycle them unless they mention it first. Be kind, you can do it. All talents at the site must be VTubers. Do not upload any content legal in your jurisdiction or illegal in New York. So I guess they're located in New York, but just giving you all that, right? So I found a really pretty decent summary, chat, that I felt like kind of boxed up some of my thoughts as well. So let's go take a look at this, right? He was positive about this because their own issues, administration, but even she said this was a good idea. Again, I'll read before I read this. Like, I'll share you my notes again, right? Like, you got to be careful what you share out there publicly, right? But publicly talking about your medical history, that's not giving consent to track your health for some random or nefarious reason. Like, it's weird. It's crossing a boundary, right? Health information is protected by law as well. That's something you have to consider, right? Again, this isn't just a period tracker, right? It's an ovulation tracker. So this implies fertility, more than likely probably made for a kink or kink related. I mean, again, who needs to know this information, right? Why is this something that you need to know? I On top of this, guys, it's extremely unethical. Public information can be shared with whoever, but that doesn't mean that random people should just be picking up on it. When it's health related, it's just not the right call. So, but again, guys, I'm going to encourage you, don't share information you don't want public, you know. And it really does, guys want to goon to their Oshi's only when they're fertile. Oh my God. You joke though. You joke. Yeah, it's this. Unfortunately, guys, I feel like, again, this at best was probably meant to be a meme. And at worst, people are going to use it for those reasons we discussed, misogyny, where we saw, oh yeah, you know, my Oshi is having a bad day. Oh, they're on their period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a good look. So let's read this. I think this was a good wrap up, right? The site is collecting and publishing information about VTubers' menstrual cycles, even if they only use public tweets and have rules against doxing and harassment. Even with moderation and strict rules, this is still legally and ethically risky. And again, for me, this is the big one, right? Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, so I'll let a lawyer do their job, but this for me is just like, why, right? So let's read the reasons, right? I think that
Public
some good
posts
points.
is not equal to consent. Just because a tweet is public doesn't mean it's okay to collect it, label it, and create a searchable profile about someone's body or health.
Exactly.
People still have a right to control how sensitive personal information is used.
Absolutely. And again, Chad, this, like, the best way I can relate this is like me gathering news, right? It's not like I'm gathering news and making some profile about somebody's body or their health, right? Like, I'm gathering to talk about it. And again, ethically, if somebody asks me to stop talking about it, if it's about them, on the ethics side, I would say, you know what? Yes, it's public, but if you do not consent for me to cover this anymore, then I would stop doing it, right? And that's just an ethical obligation that I've created for myself. But again, this person goes way too far capturing this information, right? It's just, it's weird.
Speculative information is dangerous.
That's true.
Guessing someone's
I mean,
cycle
mine is
based on
wrong.
vague posts like "my tummy hurts" or mood updates can create false or
Very true.
misleading health profiles. This can be embarrassing, stigmatizing, or even harmful if others misuse the data.
Yeah, say now you have, oh, like, you know, stomach issues, right? And then they're like, oh, that attributes to your period. Dude, you might have some completely, totally separate medical issue that you do not want shared with other people that this tracker might indicate or infer information from, which is wrong, right?
Sensitive health data matters. Menstrual information is considered highly sensitive, and even inferred data can fall under privacy protections in different states or countries.
I don't know about this, but again,
Republishing or
a lawyer
aggregating it
can
without consent can be
comment on
seen as
that.
an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, a lawyer can comment on that because I don't know, but again, I think my main argument here is I can't prove it legally because I'm not a lawyer, but ethically, this is just wrong,
Poor
dude.
moderation rules don't remove legal risk. Rules about downvoting bad evidence or not doxing may reduce
Yeah,
some
exactly.
harms,
Like I could add
but
spicy
they don't
ramen,
make
you know?
it automatically legal to track or publicly publish someone's menstrual cycle.
Yeah, I
Five
think that's a good
VTubers
point as
deserve
well.
privacy. Being online doesn't mean giving anyone permission to create detailed health or bodily profiles.
I agree, and this is where the nuance
Ethical
lies, right?
online behavior means respecting boundaries, consent, and privacy.
Absolutely. There was such a great line. Ethical online behavior means respecting boundaries, consent, and privacy. I love that. That I wish we respected this more. This is such a strong statement that holds true. I love that. I love that so much. That's awesome. That'd be over dramatic, but after that kid's placed in a GBS and plushie, find a VTuber's house, the tracker just makes it unethically worse. I mean, people go to extremes. That's the problem.
Bottom line is that
You know-
tracking, inferring, or publishing someone's menstrual cycle even with rules in place is invasive.
I agree.
Public information does not equal permission. Think twice before contributing to or using these kinds of databases. Be a decent fucking human being and respect privacy and boundaries, online or off. If this post means I'm a performative male, then I will proudly hold that label.
I think you're just a person with basic morals and ethics. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't call you performative at all, you know? Like, I think you're standing up for something that deserves to be talked about, right? But again, guys, it all comes down to just being respectful, right? Like I just told you, Yes, I go through and I look at a lot of public information. But if somebody came to me and said, Laura, you covered this today, I want the VOD taken down of it, I would absolutely respect that, no problem. Sometimes just people have different boundaries and stuff, and I think that can be respected, right? Now, if I've covered somebody that did something awful, then that awful person threats to take it down. Well, yeah, that's different, right? But there's always nuance in it. But I think it's important to just be respectful, be ethical. And this just is not. This comes off as invasive. This is just diving into stuff that is just completely unneeded, right, chat? Why does anybody need to know this information? Can somebody tell me that? Does anybody need to know this information, right? I don't think so. I think there's absolutely no reason to. You and your doctor, and that's kind of it, right? I will say again, to Parrot's point, like you said a little bit earlier, right? You got to be careful, though. People are going to do this shit. People are going to pull public information and do it. They're absolutely going to do it. Now, I do disagree with the how dare you keep keep a timetable. I mean, like, they're not. The table is not even good. So, like, I'm going to point out that the inaccuracy of their stuff. Nobody needs to know that information exactly. I need to know when you can make baby. Yeah, ready? I'll get right on that. Yeah, let me make some babies. Let me tell you, like, what the fuck? So, guys, the lesson here is respect people in their privacy and think about the ethics of stuff that you're covering, right, guys? It's just like, not everything is, needs to be a database. Not everything needs to be some kind of weird thing here. Like, this is just unneeded. It's weird. And again, even if they meant it as a meme or whatever, nah, dude, this ain't it. This ain't it. Like, just remove this, you know? Like, unless you're their doctor or significant other, you're doing it for a kink. I mean, it feels that way, right? See, I once I listed Beetle having a medical emergency because he tweeted that his dink fell off. Bruh, what the fuck? I mean, I don't want to go through anybody else's except my own, because to me, that's already kind of like violating a bit of like a thing here, right? But, already with mine, you can tell the inaccuracy. It's pulling something that was a joke. That's not even like actually talking about that I'm on my period. So it's just stupid. It's stupid all around, chat. Very, very weird. Oh, gracious. All right, chat. I have heard it said Vtubers eat mold, sand, raw chicken, chibidoki. Yeah, I was gonna say chibidoki like fucking eating raw chicken. They're like, oh, medical emergency. You're ovulating. Like, what the fuck, dude? All right, guys. You know what we're about to talk about. It's real. It's so real, Ari. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm like, yeah, you know what we're about to talk about, guys. So, chat, I'm going to stretch before we get into this, because this is probably going to be like a 3-hour conversation. I know what's coming, guys. Chat, we're going to be talking about Lala versus Rev Says Desu, all right? So, everybody buckle in. I'm going to stretch. Yeah, let's rip off the Band-Aid on this one, chat, because yeah, by the way, Rissy, you're actually in my news, so I have a question for you when we get there. Oh gracious, oh gracious. So I want to remind you all, chat, that we're gonna be talking and mentioning stuff that's political, right? I typically do not make my political stances known. I don't really like to talk about politics. But I will talk about politics when I think that we are getting to a point where it's no longer politics. Does that make sense? When it becomes something of morality, and when it becomes something past that, right? I'm going to try, I want to make this very clear, right? My political stance has nothing to do with today's coverage. I'm gonna tell you a statement at the end of this coverage, right? And obviously we'll play a part into what Lala had to say in particular, but I do want to make sure that you guys are on the same page with me. You know, my political stance has nothing to do with the coverage. And I will tell you at a separate point when I will say something political and when I will be talking on my own that is separate from the coverage, right? So I want to make sure that's very clear, right? Because I think people are going to use my stance in bad faith potentially and say my political alignment might be the reason I sided this way, but that is not the case. I want to make sure that you know my arguments here are strictly non-political. So, and then I will tell you when I'm going to say my political stuff. So anyway, here we go, guys. Let's talk about it. Now, I want to put in a little backstory here. If you've been on Twitter a little bit, you've probably seen posts like this, right, guys? Again, like Camilla's saying, imp prefers her water without ice. You probably understand what that is implying. A lot of other people are saying, screw ice, fuck ice, I don't like ice, etc., right? I want to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something more towards the end, right? But if you don't know, guys, there was a very big incident that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota on January 24th. And so this is caused a lot of people to want to share their thoughts about ICE. Just a little backstory, right? Talking about, obviously, the law enforcement entity of ICE, right? Well, Lala actually tweets out, again, the backstory is important, right? Lala goes on to say, fuck ICE. Of course, everybody's like, a lot of people are like, yeah, indeed, with you on that, sister, new fan. Some people obviously did not agree with her, etc. But Miss Lala made a very strong stance against ICE here, right? Okay, cool. Awesome, right? So Lala's stance right now is she does not like ICE. Obviously, fuck ICE, right? Very, very wrong opinion. This is not neutral, right? Very, very strong opinion of ICE as a whole, right? Well, Rev says Desu decided to respond with this chat. LARPs is a 1950s VTuber. Hates current federal agency that is more tame than any law enforcement agency of the time period included in her LARP. Of course, he also goes to follow up with another statement with Lala locking her responses. Says, locks replies all you want. I think we're fully aware of your hypocrisy and baseless virtue signaling. Now, I find this to be the oddest thing, right? Because, again, I've said this before. I think Rev has covered some topics fairly, and he's covered some unfairly as well. But for me, I was like, nah, dude, this is my line. You're wrong. Rev is known constantly for speaking out about how fictional content is separated from reality, right? You guys know this. He is very ingrained in the lolly culture, lolly-related topics. Why isn't this any different than that? I don't understand that thought process, right? But also to say here as well that somebody's beliefs, their ethical, moral compass is tied to their theme as a VTuber, to me, is an absolutely ludicrous statement. Ludicrous statement. I don't understand that. For somebody's VTuber theme, for you to say, oh, that is their ethical, moral compass is... That's crazy, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually crazy. Now, if somebody's theme is something like, as we've seen, right? People wearing swastikas or being a fucking Nazi, actually. Well, yeah, that's a different story, right? Obviously. But Lala's whole theme is a 1950s VTuber and creator. And so I thought to myself, right, chat? I thought to myself, why would he make this statement, right? Why would he do this? Why would he make a statement towards Lala, who is generally a very wonderful creator, a very upstanding, very moral, very inspiring, very active person in the scene, working with Twitch, a Twitch ambassador, trying to make things better, right? Why would he say this about Lala? Well, I thought about this for a little bit, and I'm like, why would he try to attribute these 50s eras of ethics to Lala? When literally, if you go and look at Lala's fucking tweet right here, that's pinned on her profile, she says that she doesn't do that. Like, look, If you're gonna go after somebody, you have to be 100%. Dude, you have absolutely no reason to go after her when she directly spelled it out for you in her pinned fucking post. Literally, you think I'm lying? Look, Miss Lala, pinned post here. Pinned post. Listen to this, chat. Listen to this.
Coffee ain't the only thing that I'm serving. And don't be fooled by the aesthetics. This diner is all about vintage style, not vintage values. The diner is a home for everyone, and there will always be a stool at the counter waiting for you.
She literally said it right there. She literally said in her pinned fucking post. She's like, yes, 1 minute and 14 seconds in. She says, yes, it's about aesthetic, not about values. It's right there. Dude. Come on, Rev. Dude, come on. If you're gonna go after somebody, you have to make sure that they are a bad person, dude. You have to make sure. You better make sure your ducks are in a row. You do your research. Dude, this was such a mind blower to me because I heard this somewhere. I remember I heard it. I'm like, where'd I hear that? And I checked it, and sure enough, it's right there, dude. Why did you go after her and say this to her when she clearly, as a person, how she operates, does not believe in that stuff? How could you go after her when literally her pinned post clarifies that kind of stuff as well? On top of this, Rev says, Lox replies, like, what? I think you're fully aware of hypocrisy and baseless virtue signaling. I'm gonna throw something out here, chat. I'm 99.99999999999% sure that because Rev took this from Fuck Ice, right, which is a political stance, right, moved it towards talking about her character design and how she believes in these ethics, right? Because he made this bad faith argument and took it in a completely different direction, I'm 99.9% sure that is why Lala decided to block her replies. I'm 99% sure because he took this argument in a completely different direction. She was like, nah, dude, I'm blocking my replies. You're trying to argue something that is clearly not true. Had you taken 5 seconds of research to even just look into her a little bit, you would know this is not true. Brad, this is an L, dude. This is a huge L. Literally so explainable. Wade, had you looked at her Twin Peaks, or just looked at her content for 3 seconds. If you're gonna go after somebody, chat, I'm gonna say it again. If you're gonna go after somebody, you have to make sure they are 100% a bad person. If you are gonna go after them, you better make sure your arguments are infallible, dude. Infallible. And Lala here has done none of that. She stated her political opinion. If you want to argue about her political opinion, that's fine. Do that. Do that. Whatever, right? But that's not what you did. You took the conversation in a completely different direction. And that is why this argument is not going in your favor, dude. This ain't it. This is not it at all. And that sucks because I'm going to be honest, guys. Out of previous arguments I've seen from Rev, I felt like that he would argue certain stuff in good faith, and it's sad to see that this is not exactly what happened, right? This is a L 100%. That sucks. Really sucks to see someone that constantly argues about the difference between reality and fantasy try to use this argument against Lala, who again is a wonderful, upstanding creator. And again, who explains this away in her pinned tweet back from September 22nd, 2025. So this has been around for months. Months, chat. Months. Months of time beforehand, chat. Wasn't like she released this after. It's been sitting here in the pinned post for months, dude. I mean, Red Club, I know I keep using this example because of my main one, but for instance, when he went after Powder and calling her out for her stuff, he was right, dude. Powder was absolutely wrong. And I appreciate his take on that. It was very nuanced, and I appreciated that. But this right here is just, nah, dude, this ain't it. On top of this, of course, Lala goes on to say, if you want to have a conversation about my actions, then come to me and let's have a conversation. My post wasn't directed towards you, and I don't know what I've personally done to you to warrant a targeted reaction about me to your community to the point of receiving slurs from your community members. She goes on to quote, be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another as God and Christ forgave you. You're a man of faith, correct? You don't have to like my opinions, Rev, but you also don't have to antagonize your community against me. So, let's talk here for a second about this, right, chat? I want to mention this really quick. One thing to point out is I don't think Rev weaponized his community or anything like that. I think that obviously he had his take about Lala, right? But I don't think he was weaponizing. And these people that are doing this are just bad actors from both sides, right? People that are throwing slurs or being hateful, all that stuff. That's just the average fucking Twitter person, right? Unfortunately, people are just shitty, dude. And they live on Twitter and they want to just fight about something. I don't think that was, a Rev activating his community with the secret code words to go and attack Lala, right? For instance, I'll give you an example. On the other side of that coin, right? Do you think Lala, by her talking about it, was weaponizing her community, right? Of course not. Of course she wasn't, on the flip side of that as well. So I think this is a conversation between two people, right? And I think that, yes, people love to get involved. People love to throw their, bad takes, whatever. People love to obviously say horrible things. But I think in this case, that is not entirely what happened, right? So now, obviously, talking about politics on Twitter, right? Let alone Twitter out of every other website. That's to be an expectation. It's going to be a heavy conversation. There's going to be hate, etc., right? And I'm sure Lala knew this, right? She's not going to say this, but she's a smart woman. She knows. She's not going to say this without expecting some kind of, vitriol or hate, right? So, I don't think that her locking the replies was her being a coward or anything like that. Quite the contrary, I think that she looked at what he said and said, nah, dude, you're going after me for the entirely wrong reasons, as already explained. You didn't do your research. This wasn't a good faith. I'm not going to engage in that anymore. And I think that's a fair reaction, right? But as far as sending the community over, I don't think talking about somebody in a quote retweet is doing that. Like, obviously, Rev engaged in a really poor argument here, but I don't see him, weaponizing his community or vice versa, right? I don't see that. So I think that's the only point that I kind of I don't agree with, right? From your community members, because I'm sure that it's not all of Rev's community members,
I like
right?
Rev,
They're probably just
but
all
this drama benefited
bad
no
people
one,
in general.
especially
But
in
there is
Rev's
nuance
case.
to this, so let me finish what I'm going to
not
say.
a fan of VTubers out of nowhere bringing up politics, cause I believe politics on VTubing is always a recipe for disaster. It made Rev look bad, but I strongly believe Rev would send his audience to harass Lala, cause I know Rev would not stand this at all, considering the fanbases he's covered in his videos that have harassed him and other people. That's
Fair, I
my
get
2
you.
cents.
But let me give you my nuance here, Chad. Let me give you my nuance. I don't think that Rev is sending people specifically to attack or anything like that. And I don't think that Lala would ever do that either, right? Saying that I'm receiving slurs from your Q members, maybe there are some, right? Maybe there are. What I would ask, right, is that there's somebody that is proven in Rev's community that is doing this, that we could actively see a screenshot or a chat member thing that he has not taken action against. At that point, I'd be like, oh yeah, you're cooked. You know what I mean? I would be looking for that. But one thing I will say is when you act inflammatory without looking into what you're doing, you're going to invite those same kind of people, right? You have a more responsibility at that point to look at how your words and actions affect others as well. And that's the morality of that, right? Which I feel like he's not living up to. That's usually the attention such drama creates that draws in the back crowd. Remember, we're on the internet, yeah. He doesn't need to directly say he made an audience that fixate on whoever he flags. Again, I will ask you the question, right? Is there any evidence of this actually happening? Guys, we have to work off proof. We have to work on actual things, right? How we feel versus actual proof is completely different. If this has happened, right? A community member of his, you find that in his chat or part of his community, he allows it, there's a history, then we have a different conversation, right? Comes a point where your sheer presence is enough of a force for people to act on what they say or do, regardless of whether or not you advocate for it. And exactly, Nikto, and that unfortunately is a problem, right? You can advocate against all kinds of stuff and people will do it, right? And that sucks. That really, really sucks. You need to disown the community members that are attacking, silences, compliance in this regard. My question, Red Claw, is are there any proof of instances where there are community members that are attributed to him that he allows in his community, etc., doing that type of behavior? If that's the case, 100%. But without that, it's hard to hold them accountable for something like that, right? So I'll give you an example. If somebody comes after me, or no, I'm sorry, if somebody goes after Red Claw, right, and they're saying a bunch of stuff, and I disagree with Red Claw, right, does it instantly mean it's my community members? Of course not, right? I might not know this person that might say something really hateful to Red Claw, but it is my duty to make sure that that person does not interact with my community anymore, right? Or I block that person or whatever, right? It's also on me to make sure that if somebody does interact in my community, that I remove them, right? So you gotta also, on the flip side of that, if somebody is doing this and it's behavior of this particular person interacting and being really, really hateful, right? And they're part of this community and Rev is allowing that to happen, then that's a completely separate issue and we would call that out. You know what I mean? Had the Rev double down on this enough for me to think he does operate in good faith. I mean, this argument was completely in bad faith. Does that make sense, chat? Is that a fair statement to say? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So half the time, these hateful, racist, bigot people
words on social
only
media
say
carries
this
a ton of
because
weight,
they
and the
want
troll
some
are
kind of
always
reaction
looking
out of
for
you. They
any
never
response
watch
to
either
cling
side.
to.
You know what I mean?
Give them an inch and bad actors will make it a mile.
Absolutely. I want to be fair about this, right? Because we've seen a lot of, with your permission, because my Capotonos King, you asked me a quick voice call, a voice opinion, and I shall return to either. Not right now, Red Club. I have way too much to share, dude. I'm so sorry. I really, really think that we've seen a lot of this uptick, right? Talking about, you know, it's your community doing this, right? There's got to be proof. That's all I'm asking. I think that we should at least look at that and go, okay, if that is true, right? Let's see the proof. And that's all I'm asking for. I'm not saying that he did or didn't or whatever. I just want the proof. I'm a facts person. I live off the facts. Give me the proof. You know what I mean? And then I will absolutely call your ass out. I mean, if I found out, let's say that there's a known harasser, right, that is going after me. And Red Claw, hypothetically, so I'm just using Red Claw. Red Claw allows this person to tell me that my boobs are small and I'm a horrible person, right? And he keeps allowing this. And that person is in his Discord and he does nothing about it. Well then, yeah, we gotta talk about something, right? Like that's a separate thing, but that is actually your community members, right? I think that a lot of people want to contribute really negative connotation and criticisms and hateful stuff towards particular communities. And maybe so, chat. Maybe it is true. Maybe the way that Rev holds himself and acts, it creates his community. I don't know. But if that is the case, I'm just asking for a little bit of receipts. And I think that's fair. You know what I mean? The model was live. She used as Vtuber inflation to hide her true cup size stat. I just want to see the receipts. That's all I'm asking for. If somebody is actually creating an environment like that, I just want to see the receipts. I'm sucking on my cough chop. Anyway, continuing here, chat. Obviously, this is Miss Lala's response right here. He says, yeah, you know, I'm receiving soy streamer community members I mean, it might be the case, right? I think there is a bit of a moral obligation as well when these things happen, right? Is to put out something like, hey, like, I do not support this type of behavior, and I don't allow for that kind of stuff, right? So remember when I had the whole Anna Valens things, right? And people were being transphobic. I straight up said on stream, I'm like, absolutely not. Fuck that behavior. If you're being transphobic, I don't want you in my community, and your words mean nothing to me. You're not part of this community, right? I feel like that does help, right? And it's a moral obligation. Some people agree with it. Some people don't agree with it, right? But I think that in a case like this, it's going to help if you say something like that. But again, the thing is, John is like, I don't think Rev has ever done that, right? So I would never expect for it to happen, but that's me, right? Everybody feels differently, right? That's my moral obligation that I feel like I should do, right? He might feel differently, but I feel like it would help. And people point criticism towards him because of that reason, right? Whether you agree or not agree, that's on you, right? So obviously, Rev decided to respond to this as well. See, this one we just read. Your conversation was saying fuck ICE, and now you're trying to weaponize my faith against me poorly. But again, he took the conversation in a different direction, so he didn't address this part, right? He just started attacking her character design and how that poured into her ethics, which is untrue, right? They're trying to weaponize my faith against me poorly. I don't feel like Lala's weaponizing faith. I think she's just like, look, dude, like, you preach about a lot about religion and things like that, right? Like, you know, we should all be understanding and kind to one another, right? So, of course, Rev goes on to say, Romans, let everybody be subject to the governing authorities, but there's no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whatever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. Again, guys, I feel like everybody can sit there and cherry pick different verses to fight each other's logic. I'm not gonna comment on that, but you made a public post and people disagreed with you. I mean, sure, that might be fine, right? But I gotta say your argument, Rev, did not disagree with her about that, right? You disagree with her about a separate issue. You tell people to have a conversation, but you immediately like her replies based on criticism. Putting about hypocrisy is unkind, but she's not hypocritical. And again, if you go back to her actual thing, you would know that. Lala has not been hypocritical at all. I'm not antagonizing my community against you. I'm gonna play that game just like the replies of your own supporters towards me. Being obnoxious, virtue signaling, post with no depth whatsoever. Got backlash if you don't like that. Maybe don't dive into these topics publicly. You're gonna pull up Bible verses if fit your needs, ignore the rest, and we continue to cherry pick just all of the different verses. I'm sure I can find something to argue against that, but again, I don't feel like that she stated her opinion on something, but you took the argument in a different direction, and I think that's why people are criticizing you, right? She wasn't hypocritical at all. She was talking about this political thing you took it about her character and how it represented something which is entirely untrue. So, and again, he might, I think he's probably speaking the truth here. He's not antagonizing his community, right? Like, I don't think either one of the sides of the community are trying to weaponize or attack anybody, right? But, and again, other people on the other side are probably going after Rev as well. I've seen comments where people say, oh, fuck Rev, I hate that guy, right? Like, and I mean, that's fine, but if you don't like him or whatever, but there are people on the other side who are being hateful towards Rev as well, right? So you made an obnoxious virtue signaling post with no depth whatsoever. I mean, again, it would be different if you had addressed that particular part, but you didn't. So that's why your argument falls apart. You know what I mean? I'm actually trying to lean on Rev's faith as a defense against criticism. I disagree. I don't think this is a criticism. She's just like, hey, like, just be kind to one another, you know? Like, yeah, you don't have to like her opinions. I mean, that's true. Plus, also scream, shut up and dance. Basically trying to say you can't handle the trolls. And racist, she should keep her mouth shut. Yeah, I'm sorry, but he's feeling your vibe for me. Yeah, I mean, if that's how you feel, dude, you know? Again, I feel like just his argument went a completely different direction. His original stuff falls apart. You know, I think the timing of the post coincides with a pretty bad event that took place. Absolutely, and that's what we did a little backstory as well. So let's keep looking at the responses here before we keep diving into conversation. Of course, Straw goes on to see it's hard, kind of hard to have a conversation between you say fuck guys and lock your replies to saying. And again, I feel like she didn't lock her replies because of that. I feel like she locked her replies because of this. So knowing that and understanding that context is important. At the end of the day, this is a public platform. Nobody is antagonizing their communities. Again, I don't think anybody's communities are being weaponized or sent to attack anybody. Also, quoting scripture to be kind of forgiving when the original post was what it was is kind of ironic. When you start out hostile, you should expect responses that are not exactly super sweetly typed out. If your original post should have more depth if a good conversation was what you're wanting. Again, I don't think so. I don't think that Lala set out to post this to have an actual conversation. You know what I mean? Like, she made her thoughts very clear, and that's kind of how it was, right? Like, she liked her posts, her responses for something completely different, which was Rev's, you know, moving of the goalpost, right? So that's how I take it. What do y'all think? Before we continue, what do you think? Does she say no Lala should expect rude people? Does she hit it on ice? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, Mask, if you are to try to water down that, you're going to be extremely disappointed. If you make any statement about ice on Twitter, you need to understand that you're going to get a very hateful and vitriol reaction. It's going to happen. It's just part of it, dude. And I'm sure that Lala weighed that fact and decided to say what she wanted to say. Again, I don't think it was a virtue signaling, right? Because, again, this isn't just a political issue anymore that happened back on the 24th, right, chat? It's about morality. It's about ethics. It's no longer about politics anymore. So I don't think she was virtue signaling. Exactly, Nick up into picking tits, remove the context, like I said. Could have been more specific. And I think here this post is what it is, right? I think she understood that she was gonna get shit sent her way because of this, right? Maybe she didn't want to engage in a conversation or you know, have these extra nuanced takes or whatever, right? Like it's up to you, right? But again, I don't think it was a virtue signaling. I really don't. I don't view it that way, right? But again, maybe your original post should have more depth of a good conversation is what you're wanting. I just don't think that was her intention, to be honest. People just do lots of plot in the heat of it all and start getting personal. Yeah, I don't think that was her intention at all. So, but because we moved the goalpost, this is where we straight have a problem, right? That is the issue, right? Again, I want to remind you all, you know, Rev took this in a direction that made it controversial, right? So yes, Lala, that's what she had to say, but Rev took this and made it controversial for something completely different. And that's the issue, right? That's the issue here. That's why I think this whole statement was made bad faith. That's why I think you could have taken 2 seconds to look at her pin post trailer that says that she is not, aesthetic. She's only aesthetically 50s, not morality that way, you know? So appreciate acknowledging it's not simply political. Generally think you've seen kind of Vtuber news coverage of political takes, so again, thank you for actually saying this. Because I have some things to say, but I'm gonna wait till the end because I don't want anybody to say that I'm covering this in bad faith because of politics. So I do have a statement for all of you, but I'm gonna save that till the end of this section, okay? So, and it's very important. Yeah, and I'm not here to like do some deep dive into Rev or Straub or whatever, because again, Rev and Straub have both been in my stream before, right? I've interacted with them. Rev has used my content before in his videos, right? Like, I think that Rev has had good takes, and he's had bad ones, and this is a bad one. And that's how I approach everything. I'll be honest, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a dinosaur. I don't care if you have really short arms. I don't care if your brain is really small. I don't care if all of your kind got destroyed by the meteors. I'm totally describing a bunch of separate people right now, by the way, chat. I don't care. You were either on the right side or the wrong side of an argument, right? You're either whatever, right? And in this case, even though I might like Rev for one reason and dislike him for another reason, in this particular case, I'd say, you know what? Nah, Rev, that's an L, dude. That's an absolute L. Bad people can have good opinions and good people can have bad opinions. And so I approach every single situation differently. If there's somebody that I really like, let's say, I'm trying to think of somebody that I really get along with. Let's say that Aya does something really, really bad, right? Let's say that Aya just turns out to be a murderer or something like that. I'm not going to water that down. I'm going to report on it. Like, I can't believe Aya murdered me last night in bed. You get what I mean? Yeah, like I said, he's that good, he's that bad. So, you get what I mean. So, anyway, guys, let's take a look here because Kirsch also wanted to weigh in on this as well. And of course, Kirsch says, having a disagreement on Twitter is not worth uninvolved people. Finding struggle session is sponsored and dropping a creator. Very reminiscent of what happened to her during Gamer Slaps. If we play by the logic of refs in his community say mean words in Lala's replies, then Lala sent her community financially ruined Rev by threatening a sponsor, which I don't think she did. So, I mean, I think that's fair, right? Like, I don't think that we should be playing by that logic, right? I think that we can't say either side is trying to go after each other or hurt each other, right? So, I think it's a fair statement. I really do. Attempting to throw weight in order to strike fear into companies. I mean, chat, let's be real. I don't care if you don't like her or not like her, whatever, right? But this is actually a fair take. Is it not? I mean, let's be so real, chat. That's actually a pretty fair take, right? Again, chat. Good people can have bad opinions and bad people can have good opinions and all the things in between. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that they can't have a good take. And that is why, chat, we talk about this stuff so we can expand our mind and look at people we disagree with. You should be listening to the people you disagree with more than the people you agree with. Those are Papa Lara's words. Attempting to throw weight in order to strike fear into companies to bend the knee to you is shit behavior. Do not negotiate with these kinds of people. For companies who stand by their creators, especially in the face of these kinds of tactics. I'll put Revan's drop stuff below. We're going to be looking at all of these here in just a second, right? But what I want to talk about, right? Obviously, I'm only agreeing with this part right here, right? About the communities. So last time when we looked at this stuff, right? We looked at all this. Last time, chat, everybody went after gamer subs, right? They were like, oh, gamer subs dropped this person, etc., 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 right? And I feel like that didn't really... Well, it didn't work, right? Obviously, it didn't work, right? I never seen somebody canceling a sponsor. I don't know, is there? But anyway, so, you know, when we're looking at this, right? Like, you know, a lot of people went after gamer subs, and it didn't work, right? But what we're going to see with this advanced GG stuff is people actually are just stepping away from the company completely. And I think that that is a very different tactic than what we saw before, right? So for this stuff, right? If people's values don't align with the company, they can choose not to be a partner or support it anymore. It's their choice just as much as the business, right? They can support it or not support it. And if people want to step away, that's totally fine. But this is how people you're going to see are speaking out, right? They're not really going after advanced GG so much. They're just like, they're not targeting them. Instead, they're just like, we are going to, you know, step away from our partnership, and that's it. That's what they're doing. This is their way of calling out this stuff, right? So let's go take a look at what's going on with Advanced GG, which again, very kind of different tactic, right? I mean, last time with Gamer Slaps, I didn't really see a lot of people sever their partnership, but this time, people are actually doing that. So I think this will probably, if I had to give you my personal thoughts, I think that that was probably, you know, it's going to work a lot better than just targeting gamer subs, right? Stepping away from partner, losing all of that money, losing that business, I think is probably going to make a louder message, right? So, for instance, the partnership majority of the creators are leaving inside instead of trying to convince the company to drop ref. Exactly. And I think that last time at Gamer Subs, right, they tried to drop Kirsch instead of like being like, oh, well, I want to leave. And so it's just people leaving instead of attacking the sponsor. So I'm going to show you a bunch of instances of that as well, chat. Let me take a sip of my tea because I'm yapping a lot. Yeah, I mean, there were like one or two, I'll be honest. Aurora, after the events of the last 24 hours, I'll be personally stepping down for me to Advanced GG partner. You guys don't know, Rev is probably Advanced GG's larger-ish creator. I'm grateful for the opportunity it gave me seeing my face on the tub, and the many peers I'll get to continue collaborating with in future, but I will not be associated with the individual who attacked Lala yesterday, and who was so openly hateful about so many things. I stand with Lala on every part of this, and I'm sure lots of other opportunities will come my way in the future. Let's keep looking, right? If somebody says they just released an announcement, giving them time to make their decision before jumping ship. Also, it's fuck ice every day. Everybody has a right to be angry, but canceling company who didn't even know what's going on won't help. And I will make you this note as well, chat. Is a company realistically going to be in charge of policing everybody that they work with, right? And their political stances? Of course not. They're not going to, chat. Let's be real. Businesses are not going to sit there and police the morality, and they're not going to sit there and police everybody's political stances, right? They're not going to. Let's be realistic. Going after a sponsor has had a history of not working, so stepping away like this, in my opinion, would be the right call to initiate action if you felt like initiating action is the right thing to do. I will say this, though. I think to their point as well, you should be offering Advanced GG the time to make whatever call they're going to make, right? Make their stance clear before acting, right? Let them decide what they want to do, right? Let them decide what they want to do. And just because someone else is in the same company sponsor doesn't mean you're associated with them. Exactly. People often do that. They do this alignment of guilt, right? Oh, well, you're Gamer Subs partner, so you agree with this. No, I don't. Like, we're all individuals, right? So I think that you gotta wait and let people make their decisions, right? And again, I'm not gonna tell you how to feel about it or what you want to do, but you can decide to support or not support Advanced GG based on what they do about it, right? And I'm not telling you to lean one way or the other. Only you can decide that as an individual, right? There you go. Because I see a lot of people be like, oh, well, you have to or this or that. And I'm like, well, that's up to you, right? I can't tell you what to do. That's not my job. All I can do is just tell you, you should probably wait till all the stuff comes out and then make your decision based on that, right? Don't jump to a conclusion.
I don't know if Lala's audience actually did do that. I somewhat highly doubt that.
They did not.
But Kirsha is right that we really shouldn't try to strip Rev of his sponsorship. Especially considering Kirsha was nearly in the same boat when Anna Valens and others tried to get Kirsha to lose her sponsorship with Gamers Ups. People dropping out of Advanced GG or any sponsorship cause of Rev is fair 100%.
Yeah, it's your prerogative if you want to support them or not. I agree. I think it's a more hit-in-the-pocket strategy, right? Ultimately, your message is to send a message to the company, right? So I would agree it's probably a better strategy overall. But what I will say, again, guys, is let them actually take action, Advanced GG. Let them take action and kind of figure out exactly what they want to do, right? We just don't know yet. Yeah, I got it, Rizzy. I'll show it to you. How many people are partnered with Gamer Subs that don't like Lily at all in her company are partnered with? Sure. I agree with you, though, Joe. I agree with you. And chat, I know you're going on about Kirsch, this and that, whatever. Look, guys, I feel you. I feel you. I really do. But I'm not here to talk about Kirsch's history, okay? I'm here to talk about this right now. If you want to talk about Kirsch's history, you can have that conversation, not here right now, not today. Maybe on a different Discord server somewhere else, but guys, I get it. I know these are controversial people with Rev and Kirsch. I get it, guys, but I'm not here to discuss their history, okay? Because that would be a totally separate coverage. I'm going to show you what's related to it. I'm going to show you the bigger people that spoke about it. We're going to address it in a nuanced manner. And that's it, guys. I really see a lot of you are angry, and that's fine, but I'm not here to discuss your history. So On top of that, of course, Kami also goes to say after a year being with Advanced GG, I decided to also step away from being partner with the company. Part ways after seeing one of their partners' behavior and views. I don't want to be around that. The way they're treating Miss Lala is heartbreaking to see. Thank you to those who supported my journey while I worked alongside Advance and giving me such an opportunity, regardless how small of a streamer I was. They gave me a chance. I will always be grateful. My views, morals, and values will always come first. Again, totally their prerogative if they want to leave, right? If those values don't align with other people, they're allowed to do that, right? Dino Bunny says, yeah, I'm removing my affiliation because of this. Enough is enough. I mean, it's quite a lot of people, chat. Quite a lot of people. First set going on to say, I'm stepping away. I'm no longer ambassador for Advance. Might have noticed I removed my code in social submit because I don't want people to use it in the middle of sorting my leave. Also being validated once it's sorted out. I'm very grateful for their care towards me as an individual throughout the period. My value with the company is not aligned anymore as a content creator. And we parted ways amicably. Alright, see you, Nick Tom. How about as well? Starlight Bell going on to say, hey, after being spearheaded by Aura, and with a number of months of deliberation over their inaction, I'll be removing myself from Advanced GG. I'm putting my beliefs in what is right first and foremost. This thread will show how they handle this, right? So, there you go. Again, you gotta remember, guys, the company is just doing their thing, right, guys? Like, obviously, if they say that we stand for these morals and stuff like that, then yeah, they gotta uphold it. What we're gonna look at. On top of that, Tokyo says, I didn't promote it much anyway, but I'm no longer Advanced GG ambassador. My code won't work at checkout. How about that? Cora says, I'm no longer associating myself with Advanced GG. After thinking about it, I realized the inaction speaks louder than words. I want to do this silently, but I figure posting about it might encourage others to take action any way they can. Deep fun dice. Again, Casey goes on to add to this as well. Saying, due to finding out more information about Advanced GG, I've emailed them to terminate my affiliation. It was a short run, but I do not stand with this company. I do not feel comfortable with working with them after the events that unfolded. So, again, you can see so many people stepping away, chat. I mean, this is a lot of people. I'm not even halfway done yet. I mean, all this going on. I've also decided to cut off my affiliate status with Advanced GG. Pretty crazy. But Billy Mays, but wait, there's more, chat. On top of that, Kit, as of today, I'm no longer affiliated with Advanced GG. I mean, a lot, chat, a lot. Captain Dandy Flask, I got asked why I dropped Advanced GG. I was happy they were sending out email promotional campaigns with right-wing grifters and no longer want to be associated with the brand. Of course, this was in reference to the Rev flavor that has them on the front, Jolly Pop. So, you know, Dandy goes on to make their stance very, very clear here. Raised concerns with my partnership manager, dismissed my concerns entirely. So instead of being associated with that person, I was more than happy to leave them behind. Fuck guys. Fuck Nazis, fuck grifters, support minorities. More people leaving, chat, even more. Of course, they say announcement have decided to step down from being ambassador for Advanced GG due to recent events and values do not align and no longer see them as a benefit to my brand or community. On top of that, guys, a few people are kind of waiting for stuff to come out. Dinah says, I have yet to renew my contract with Advanced GG, and my response will be entirely contingent on whether they allow Brad to stay. So just no buts about it. Straight up, just like, yeah, no, dude, here it is. Alkovic says, at this moment, I don't have intentions of stepping away from partnership with Advance. Wasn't aware of the fact that problematic creators that advocate for the hatred of marginalized communities are partnered with the brand until very recently. And that's on me for not doing enough research before accepting the partnership. It should be known that in no way do I agree to support these types of individuals. I will always advocate for what I believe is right. Spreading hatred is not it, but my community can understand. Rizzy goes on to actually tweet this out, which I don't know how true this is. Looks like Advanced GG is now deleting messages and locking out creators in their own Discord now. They talk about the Rev situation. I don't know if this is just mods being overzealous or is this coming from the top, but it's a bad look. I do know that their Discord did go slow mode, kind of try to die down a lot of the controversy. And here's what they actually had to say. Here you go, guys. Here's the company update right here, guys. Hey, everybody. We're aware of the conversations happening right now and understand that emotions are high. Advance is made up of a diverse team, and we care deeply about creating a space that feels respectful and safe for everybody. We've seen concerns raised, but we haven't yet had the opportunity to fully review all screenshots or context As much as our team has been in meetings and traveling, we're actively looking into it. We asked for some patience while we take the time to review everything properly and thoughtfully. We want to make decisions based on facts and full context, not reactions or partial information. In the meantime, if this isn't something we want to debate publicly in Discord, speculation pressure to take immediate sides, our personal attacks aren't productive and don't help anybody involved. I gotta say, this is a great response. I'm not gonna lie, chat. If you have concerns, you're welcome to share them respectfully with the team directly. We understand that people have different perspectives, and we respect that. Advance is meant to be a community built on respect, even when opinions differ. We'll follow it up once we've had time to review it and discuss internally. Thank you for your patience and for giving us the space to handle this right away. Great response, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Good response by Advance. Yeah, very, very good response. Claps for you, bro. Fantastic response. Love that. Good chat. Now I'm gonna open it up to you guys for a little bit of talking, a little bit of discussion here. So now that I've shown you everything, chat, how do you feel about it? What's your thoughts about it? Who do you think was wrong? Who do you think was right? What do you think's going on, chat? As it's all right with me that I can still purchase this stuff from Advanced GD. I mean, Foxen, I can't tell you how to feel, right? Only you as an individual can decide that. People putting their money where their mouth is, as far as I can see. I mean, really, they are. Rev's wrong, that's all. Yeah, this was a bad take, Rev. This is a bad take, dude. I try to engage in good faith in everything, and Rev, I don't know, you probably never watched this, right? I have no idea. But dude, this was a bad take, and you know it was. The information you needed was right here. You didn't do your research. Rev is always going to be the wrong for this and the other things he did. Rev is in the wrong if I run into her character design. Yeah, I think that associating somebody's ethical and moral compass based on the theme of their VTuber is like, that's extreme, dude. Especially from somebody that preaches about the separation between fiction and reality, right? So having a conversation about a topic and it's like getting aggressive are two different things. I'm open to educate conversations with differing opinions, but that's not what Rev did here. I think that's a great point, Meg. Great point. And the entire thing is a mess of Rev's making. Rev is in the wrong. Rev started this all. Rev blew this up. Emily tells Lala to keep quiet on things, but literally all of this could have been avoided. We just kept scrolling, yeah. Again, I'm so like shocked about the moving of the goalpost, right? It's like, if you wanted to discuss ice, why did you try to make up this non-existent, like, hypocrisy that clearly she's not practicing? I mean, again, chat, let's say you're just tuning in. Listen to what she says right here. Listen to her words.
Always cooking something up fun and fabulous. Trust me, coffee ain't the only thing that I'm serving. And don't be fooled by the aesthetics. This diner is all about vintage style, not vintage values. The diner is a home for everyone, and there will always be a stool at the counter waiting for you.
Literally right there, dude. It's right there. In her pin post since September 22nd. So, exactly, she is accepting and loving as well. And considering what happened on January 24th, no wonder she has said this as well. I can confirm that the server is deleting messages concerning the situation and saying people on cuts in slow mode, yeah. I mean, Rizzy, but they're probably just trying to, like they made in their announcement, right? Trying to chill things out, so. Lala's, bro, I love Lala. I don't think Rev was pointing his community people like a loaded gun. Rev's community constantly makes it on my timeline throughout pure vitriol. Chair, I got you. I mean, again, there is a moral obligation, right? If you feel like that your community is doing this or that, I think that it's a moral obligation to call out bad behaviors, right? And I do try to do that from time to time if I find people that do that. But again, I can say everything I want to. I can say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. And people will still do it on Twitter. There's nothing you can do to control that, right? So it's a balance, right? Some people feel like you don't have to do that because nobody's going to listen. Other people do. I lean towards a moral obligation, right? Just like I did with In a Balance. It's different for everybody, right? It's different for everybody. And I think that, at least for me looking at it, I don't think that either side was sending people to attack, but I think that's a fair point, though, Nit. And same to you, Fuzz Dog, as well. I think that this right here is a poor leading by example. And I think it's a fair point. I think it's a great way to put it that I haven't said before, so I'll acknowledge it. I think it's a poor leading by example, right? Again, if you want to have a discussion or you want to talk about this stuff, right? I feel like Twitter is not the place to do that, right? Twitter is just not it, right? People are going to come down on you regardless. And if you're okay with that, then do it, right? It's your prerogative to have the discussions on your page that you want to have. But I don't think that Twitter is going to be the place to engage in good conversation, right? It's just like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. And that's why I come over here to Twitch, so we can talk about stuff in good faith. And if you are doing hateful things, there are repercussions for those things, right? You know what I mean? So, I agree. I post my opinions to make my community know where I stand, but I never expected educated replies on, yeah, exactly, controversial opinions. When we try to engage on a Twitter post, it comes up bad. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely bad faith. It was bad faith. I mean, you don't have to like Rev if you don't want to, right? It's up to you. I can't tell you how to act or how you feel about Rev. I can show you what he did, and you can say, okay, yeah, that wasn't cool. And hopefully you learn in the future that, hey, dude, that was not it. Hopefully you learn in the future, hey, you know, that wasn't cool, dude. You know, and you should engage in a better way than that. Yep, freedom of speech doesn't equal freedom of consequences. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say something here really quick, chat. Now, are we done? Are we done conversing about this? Because now I want to say my piece. My related to, but completely my own thing outside of coverage thing. Lala's Pimple3 says there will always be a stool to counter waiting for you. Oh, you're talking about with ice? I mean, it is always a stool waiting at the counter for you, right? That's obviously meant to be engaging with people who are in good faith, right? Or people that are not hateful or full of bigotry or racism or things like that, right? So there's obviously a nuance in a statement like that, right? All right, guys, I want to say my piece. All right, now I'm going to tell you something that is like related to what Lala said, but it has nothing to do with my coverage, okay? I want to make that clear. So I want to piggyback off what Lala said, but I don't want this to be related to my coverage, right? So let's make sure these are very separate, because I covered my stuff how I cover it, and then now this is how I personally feel. So if you're unaware, chat, on January 24th, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a man named Alex Pretty, 37-year-old intensive care nurse that worked for the United States Department of Veterans Affairs, was shot multiple times and killed by United States Border Patrol agent on that day. I don't like to get involved in politics. It's one of my least favorite things to talk about. I despise the hate and vitriol that comes from it. But this isn't about politics anymore, chat. It's about ethics and morality. And that's what I want to leave with you today on that. And now I'm going to drink my Monster. Absolutely. It's not about politics anymore. I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, chat. Let's talk about our next thing. I got something else crazy to talk about. Anything else you guys want to add before we move on? Yeah, anything else that you guys want to add before we move on? Anything else I can add? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to add, guys? I seen a video. 100%. Yeah, if I stretch again, I'll get taller. I doubt it works that way. I doubt it works that way. Go outside is what I am. Go touch grass. Yeah, go touch grass. You can't do it until I try one touching grass. Yeah. Take care of yourselves, guys. Be careful. This is becoming far past politics at this point. Be careful, guys. Please be careful. Please be careful, all right? My heart would break in a million fucking pieces if anything happened to y'all. It really would. It really, really would. So, remember, guys, it's not politics anymore. It's about morality and ethics, okay? Morality and ethics. Hey, then it took a public execution for more people to start having serious conversations. I agree, Fuss. It's really sad. But I do have to say that looking at how everybody has treated us and looking how outspoken people are, I think it's inspired not only others, but me as well to have a voice to talk about this more. You know, and maybe it starts more in private and it becomes more public, but I think this is things that we need to keep in our heart and things that we need to keep in our minds right now. All I say is that I'm with you, Lauren. I'm having a hard time wanting to stick around this world. Yeah, I think I'm just going to move somewhere. I think I'm going to move to Germany or something. Like, I'll seriously people having conversations with the outside. At least it looks like there's even more infighting. So, guys, if you want to have a conversation about the specifics of what happened, you can take that somewhere else because I'm not here to discuss that. But, again, I said what I had to say, and I think it's pretty clear.
I'm proud of both you and Lala for taking this stance, and I hope more VTubers follow you.
I know moving on, but again, thank you, Laura, for actually covering this properly and acknowledge this is simply political. Been a lot from when I started watching you, and I appreciate you with you and Lala. Thank you, I appreciate that, Pika. I'll be honest, I know, yeah, that's true, Germany isn't great either, but, I mean, you know, I'll be honest, when I approach stuff now, I feel a lot more a maturity in it behind it as well, so, and that's what it should be. I should be getting better at this, you know what I mean? If I didn't, bro, that would be a problem. That'd be a shitty-ass fucking, I'd be a really shitty reporter, right? Or commentator, whatever you want to call it. I should be getting better at this, so. Also, there has been a case for a police officer once magged up. The panic caused by Acorn falling into a patrol. Oh, I forgot about that when we covered that. So, again, Chad, if you want to discuss what happened, you know, the other day on January 24th, you can obviously do that outside of the stream. But I've said my piece of what I wanted to say. I want to try to keep it as respectful as possible. So, let's move on, guys. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about, yeah, that Acorn cop was actually terrible. That was actually, like, insanity. I remember when Charlie covered that, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, are you... Yeah, maybe even outside of the Discord, too, since, not my Discord, since we're not political in there, but, yeah, anywhere, chat, anywhere, please. That is not my Discord. Again, I really just I hate covering politics, dude, but now we're past that point so much. So, anyway, chat, let's discuss what's going on here recently with our culture. And unfortunately, guys, we have another victim of our culture. This sucks. This really, really sucks to see. Dude, that was like waking up a fucking memory. When you mentioned the Acorn thing, I kind of forgot about that, you know? So, that's crazy. That's crazy. And later, we're not having that conversation anymore, so we're moving on. So, if you want to engage in our next topic, I encourage you to be here. Otherwise, you can discuss your political beliefs, somewhere else, right? So, anyway, let's continue here. I mean, I get what you're saying, right? Like, yes, I did bring up something political, but at the same time, I'm also like, hey, dude, all right, let's move on. Yeah, so thank you for the tab reminder. So the thing here with our culture is they've had a history of problems, right? We've read these problems. They've had issues with Milky, a ton of other creators as well, not fulfilling merchandise. Well, guys, unfortunately, Hydrated Waifu is the next victim here as well. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna remind you, let's move on to the art culture stuff. I'm done with the comments about all this, okay? Yeah, let's move on. If you don't, my mods are just gonna start taking the shots, so please, guys, yeah. I try to engage in good faith with it. I've tried to have a conversation, and of course, I give you my statement. Aside from our coverage, I'm asking that we move on, okay, guys? Yeah. If you want to have a discussion about this, we can do it outside of stream, right? Or in a place that is more appropriate. I'm hungry for shots. Dude, I want some shots. See, this is why I don't bring up any politics, because this is exactly what happens. Everybody goes nuts, and I'm like, guys, oh, man, this is why I never bring this shit up. Like, prime example right here. TLDR, Noctis, I told you to fucking stop, dude. All right, now I'm about to get pissed off. I told you to stop. I'm not playing. You stop right now. That's enough. Chat seen me angry one time. Yeah, chat seen me angry one time, and I don't want to do it again, guys. I don't want to do it again. I really don't want to do it again. Come on, guys. We try to be respectful of each other. Be respectful to your chat members and be respectful to me as well, please. Come on. Okay. Just wish I could find the statement. Which one? Do you need something from my links or anything? What statement are you looking for? Yeah, hold on. I want to see what statement they needed from me. Which one was it on Twitter? Yeah, which one was it on Twitter? Yeah, just use TrueTuber instead. Oh, man. Exactly. Yeah, no, what was it? Somebody's statement on Twitter. Okay, well, they're not replying. So, anyway, chat, we're going to talk about what's going on with our culture as a follow-up to all of the other members that have had issues with our culture as well, chat. So, let's go take a look here. I don't know why I have my Kingsman stuff pulled up. I don't want that.
Ilara
That's
taking
like
out
not
the
even it.
competition, LOL.
You're good, you're good. Alright, here we go. So Hydrated Waifu coming out here with a statement that says, my experience with our culture. Thank you everybody for your kind words. They've already trying to come to me online, ultimately making them look worse. I've been quietly trying to get this resolved for years now. I got tired of waking up feeling sad like I was a failure to my community and friends. Even though I didn't feel like this would work out in getting me and my community what they deserve, I did still help me to feel a little lighter and stronger. Those who are going through all the same things as me or have gone through similar things know I'm feeling right now. But I haven't had to deal with things like this. It gives you a little glimpse on how things could turn out and how to know when somebody's taking advantage of your kindness. Never be afraid to tell your story because it can help so many. But guys, please go give Hydra some support here because, this is ridiculous. This is, with everything we've looked at with our culture, the fact that they continue to not resolve things, ship out the stuff, hold on to this merch, take people's money, is ridiculous, dude. Anyway, let's take a look here.
My experience with agriculture. I have been trying to resolve this in DMS for several years now.
Years,
I just need
chat,
to get
years.
this off my chest in hopes that it will lift this off my shoulders and help me to move forward. I know I'm a small creator, but please know that this has hurt me in the same way it would hurt a big creator. People have left my community because of not getting their orders.
Yeah, and that's
they
a
lied about
huge
refunding
problem.
my community.
That's a huge
I
problem.
would have never known if it wasn't for the other girls putting out their docs. Made shipping labels for products they didn't have to confuse people that were waiting on orders. Because of this, people have only been partly refunded for their orders, forcing them to pay for shipping a non-existent product.
So we've seen this multiple times, right? They lied about putting out, shipping out stuff. They would make the shipping labels, but never actually send the items. So this is very historically a pattern for our culture.
Ultimately scamming my community, making me feel like a scammer because I talked so highly of them. Used delay tactics to drag things on. Doxed my real name along with my username on my shipping label, even though I asked them to fix it from their previous mistake. Username, address,
that's crazy.
phone number, and real name all on the same label.
That's
didn't
crazy,
send me
dude.
everything I ordered and added random merch I didn't ask for to my order. Some of which others were waiting for in other orders. Merch drop date, May 16, 2024. I ordered around September 2nd, 2024 and I got it September 27th, 2025. Never paid me even though they said they did. I thought they did, but it was a
They never
dono from a
corrected
community
it.
member. But
So
they never
did pay
corrected
her.
it. This includes my merch that was purchased at cons.
So guys, I can confirm for you that this absolutely happened. So let me tell you, they didn't pay her properly. And on top of that, they put a real name with her username as well. So anybody that delivered any type of mail or anything like that literally would be like, oh, hydrated waifu, here's your name and here's where you live. Why would you do that? That's so stupid. You're literally putting her up on the chopping block doing that, dude. That is such a problem. Like, do you not see how bad of a problem that is? You're revealing her and where she lives. Anybody that picks up that stuff at the mail can know exactly. They can share that information freely. Yeah, that's fucked up.
I know in my screenshots
Is it a crime?
I'm
I don't know.
annoyingly nice, but it's just who I
don't
am
know.
and I didn't want to upset someone that was dealing with my community's money. As you'll see, Aruna was the only one talking to me most of the time because the manager was hard to get a hold of.
Yep, that checks out.
I have
Oh, yeah, no, they're
screenshots
done.
of partly
They've
refunded
been
orders,
done.
but these contain my community's personal info, so I don't feel like that's the best idea to share. The 8th screenshot when he says I can give guarantees in the contract this time around, just to confirm we already have a contract.
This is so fucked up, dude. Like, again, so what would happen, Carla Quinn, was they put my real name along with my username on the shipping label. So again, what that means is they put her personal information and then they also put her username as well. So it's literally all of her personal information next to hydrated waifu. So anybody can look at this. Wow, that's so messed up. Like, what the actual fuck, dude? That's insane. Dude, our culture is cooked, dude. Our culture is absolutely cooked. That's horrible. So she said she was trying to be nice. Screenshots of partially refunded orders. 8 screenshots says I can give guarantees in a contract this time around. Just to confirm we have a contract. So it sounds like, again, they really just dropped the ball in every way, shape, or form. Let's continue.
The excuse of tariffs has been made, but at the end of the day, if you can't get a product out, you own refunds. You can't hold people's money hostage. Now they're sending people parts of their orders with miscellaneous products
again,
they
this is
didn't
just
order.
a pattern of
They use guilt tripping and
their
delay tactics
stuff,
to
right?
take advantage of their partners. I don't recommend buying from them or working with them, and don't be fooled by their posts on Twitter. Again, they're not sending out exactly what people ordered, and if they have, good for them, but there are lots that aren't getting what they ordered. Even if they catch up on everything, this is going to always be a recurring thing. This whole ordeal has put me through so much stress and have worried that it will affect my community's trust in future things.
We've talked about this part as well, but it's really unfortunate because you're putting your trust in the creator as well as the merchandise company to fulfill it, right? So there is a level of trust that is put there, right? And even though she might not be responsible for any of this, right? Ultimately, it's her name attached to it, and that's what's really fucked up about it, right? I just need to get this off my chest. So, what do I want from this? I'm really glad how this is laid out. This is really nice. It's just like, hey, like, this is what's fucked up. This is what I want.
What do I want from this? I just want them to refund everything, every single order that hasn't gone out, and fully refund all the partly refunded orders. Don't make people reach out when you can see the issues on your side. Pay me what they should have so I can move on.
Yep, the fact they never
Don't make me
paid her
make
is
up for
super
the
fucked up
refunds you owe
too.
people. If an order has been delivered, pay me for it. I would also like any remaining merch you have of mine sent to me because you don't have any right to it anymore. I would like to give it to my community for free.
Any remaining merch you have of mine sent to me? Okay, anything that's left over, right? I mean, that would definitely be something they could do in good faith to maybe help resolve this situation. So I think it's a fair ask, you know?
I don't want to even talk to the manager anymore at this point.
Yeah, I don't blame you. They just
do
ignore
what
you.
you said you were gonna do so I can move on and not think about this anymore. He just needs to go through my orders and fix them. Please take a moment to check out the other girls' docs if you haven't. I wasn't
get
feeling
chat.
brave
Here are all
enough
the ones
to post
that-
mine, but over time,
Here's some of them we
I've
covered.
just
Ray,
become more
August,
sad and
Hannah,
angry about it.
Milky. I know
If I missed
Kazahana
any,
covered
please
this as
let
well.
me know and I'll add them. I just
Yeah, these are
posted
some of
what
the
I
ones we
could
covered
find.
too. These are the only people who have come out about it. There's so many more affected with their communities and their hard-earned money. So, I mean, maybe there's even more we don't know about. Yeah, I mean, this is like copium merch levels of bullshit.
If you are a creator working with them at the moment and you think everything is fine with your orders, I strongly recommend that you ask your community about their orders and ask for proof from the manager. This has affected every partner
Absolutely.
I've talked to. Thank you for listening and sorry for any typos. I am dyslexic so it's hard for me to catch them sometimes. This isn't something I ever do. I don't like drama
They
and
were.
I've never
They
posted
were.
a Google Doc like this before. Please know that I wouldn't do it unless I felt like I had to.
I'm gonna hope that these screenshots are the same ones we're gonna look at. I'm gonna assume they are. Our Culture Center Hub. Okay, so these look the same. Okay, cool. If any of the screenshots are blurry, post them in the main link to the docs that are more readable just in case. Okay, awesome. Hey, Hydra, we're waiting on the hats that come in. This is back in 2024, October 31st, by the way. I said he would make them keeps the links. I may file a chargeback. If he doesn't get them to me within the next week and just order some from someone else. Sorry for this. It's okay. Thanks for being open with me about it and pushing for it. Do you know how many were ordered? I know me and a handful of people did, but I wonder what I should say to them. So talking about our community, right? Arena says, let me check. 10. Also, our updated contract is being sent to you via email on DocuSign. I wanted to check on how things were going with the visors. This is about a month later. A little over a month later, 5 weeks. I still haven't gotten mine, so I assume it's still up in the air. I also haven't gotten my other orders either. I ordered a skate deck. A few other things I'm blanking on. I wonder if anybody else received any merch they've ordered. I know I've seen people posting some stickers, posters. I'm hesitant to try for more merch because I want to make sure you guys are able and not overwhelmed. Anything still waiting to get sent out. Once it's all figured out, I'll be super stoked to do more with you merch-wise. I mean, you've been nothing but gracious with them, you know? Order blank has this ship. Yes, yeah, by chance. I checked on it. Seems to have my IRL name and hydrated waifu on the shipping label. I think it might be unsafe to have both on there. I was wondering if we had time to change that. Look, and they put IRL name and her username together. That's extremely problematic. I changed my name on my account, but I don't know if you guys still have the shipment or not. Hopefully we fix it. I also sent a message above just and asked about my merch. Hi, let me check. Sometimes the post office loses packages, which is pretty common, but we can remake and ship ASAP. So this probably falls more towards them making like the labels and not shipping it out. I'm not at the office at the moment. I'll check back tomorrow. If that's fine, I'll contact them. Was anybody able to check on this? I would also be good for me to know what orders still haven't been sent out. Since I haven't got around to anything I've ordered, I really do worry. Hey, I'm at ALA. Sorry, I got dragged around so much. Just choked and we had previously, just checked and we had, it says choked. Just checked and we previously shipped it, but shipping got fucked. Again, this is the very typical excuse that we've seen, right? I texted our friend to make stuff to remake your stuff. So we're ready soon. I'll get extra goodies to it. So this was back in January 10th of 2025. about 2 weeks later. Any luck on this? I'd also very much like to know what other people are waiting for. I've only seen people get a poster or two. I'm feeling a little discouraged because I don't know my people are getting anything they spent money on. It can make me look bad, you know. This was a year ago, by the way, chat. So this is well over, what now? About 13, 14, 15 months. If I remember right, I have everything in my order besides the hoodie, short, and I don't know what I added the towel, but yeah, you guys can tell me what's in my order on the outside. But yeah, not to be mean, and I don't want to ask for free stuff because I already paid for it, but I was under the impression that I get one of each things for free. I was surprised when I was told that because blank, I gave up on that idea, which is fine. I didn't remind you guys or anything. So happy to support the company, but I ordered and haven't seen any one thing I bought. But she didn't even get her own merchandise. She was under the impression she's supposed to get like one for free. Normally, you have to put that like in a contract. So, but that's a very minute thing that really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Our manager hasn't said anything about it. So yeah, just really confused and kind of sad. I know I'm not super big or anything, but I was super confident in this partnership. Hope we can resolve this soon. Otherwise, I need to move things in my store that you guys can't promise. I like my community to get refunds on things they're never going to get. I did get an art hoodie and one of mine for free. And then a hoodie and shirt at PC, so it looks like she picked up something. Sorry for any typos. I'm very dyslexic. It's hard for it to catch sometimes. I'm going to send you one of everything. I'm checking on the order right now. Give me a sec. First off, sorry for the delays and such. Post office is stinky losing shit, but I just printed a label for 1 to 2 packages that we shipped to you. Tracking is blank. So they've let her on since the end of October, chat. So far, right? I'm going to send another package out soon, but the first one will be out on Monday with some of the things from your job. Also, I'm sorry for the lack of communication. Last year was rough for both of us, especially mentally, and so many things just happened, and I tried fucking us over. As far as I remember, chat, maybe you can remind me. As far as I remember, Aruna stepped away from our culture, and the manager guy is basically responsible for all of it. Am I correct in that? I'm not crazy for that, right? Yeah, am I crazy for that? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Anyway, I'm gonna make sure people get their orders. I'm gonna gladly send a replacement for those orders that were less in transit. We always offer replacements even when we aren't obligated to. And I'm so sorry so many things just happened, but I actually work right now to organize everything. I just says thank you so much for getting me talking business. I always support you guys. Hope I'm not too pushy. I never want to add any stress to you because I know you bust your ass. So for real, thank you for looking at all this and getting it resolved. I'll keep you updated on everything on my end. So this was the 21st of January. Now we're on the 18th of February. Wondering if I can get an update on this. People are still waiting. Again, a week later, would it be best to cancel order and get a refund? My community is still waiting on their step 2 and it makes me look bad. Arena says, hi. Your order is on its way. It should already be updating soon. As for the thing with your community, can you get us their order number? Our culture is handling fulfillment of orders and be messaging shortly. I can reship orders that need to be reshipped. I'm sorry for any issues they may have caused. I'm having a message you because I mainly handle just the first part of collabs. I'll have a message you ASAP. So again, this is very important. I mainly handle just the first part of collabs. So Arena just kind of hands it to the manager. And then, of course, Aruna's hands off, right? So she's kind of like the in-between person. Oh, Captain, we were talking about Lala basically made a tweet. Rev engaged with it in bad faith. And I've been at this for the whole time. I tagged him, but only hear from you. And my community is kind of vice versa on. I don't think anybody is kind of anything with the posters. I feel like you guys should have access to the orders that haven't gone out yet. Other things are getting lost. It's just that they're not being sent at all. I feel like I've been insanely patient about this, especially I consider Rena a friend. I mean, she has been patient, right? This is ridiculous. I ordered merch because I want to see how it would be for the community and, of course, support the company. And I'm super sad with the results. Guys, as a co-owner of a merchandise company, this is not how you are supposed to function. I feel like you guys are unable to get the fighters at all, so it might be best to refund everybody and purchase them. I'd be interested in seeing what hasn't gone out. I keep my Twitch panels and commands active, but I'm too scared to push any merch for you guys because I know it's not going out. I don't even know if the shipping label is fixed or not. And if it's still literally doxes where I live, sorry, I'm just really sad, honestly. Yeah, and that right there is a very huge grievance as well, right? I don't know why you would attach somebody's personal information alongside with somebody that tracks to their VTuber. That's crazy. That's actually crazy, chat. So our our culture, the manager goes on to say, first and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize for my lack of communication frustration. It may have caused honest explanation for my absence and delay in fulfilling my side of our collaboration. To clarify, Aruna is in no way responsible for issues in our culture. Okay, I was right. I take full accountability for the lack of professionalism, communication, and falter on my part. He's been purely in a supportive role. Often been covering for me and understand how it might appear otherwise. However, I want to stress that she is not part of the problem. Why have I not been communicating? To be transparent, I've completely been experiencing chronic depression. I was left me bedridden for 12 to 16 hours a day. Doom scrolling or reporting to self-destructive habits as a way to cope. I'm sorry to hear that. Exactly, like let people do orders but also give them a tracking number that they never sent out. That's actually bullshit. Like legitimately, they're just buying time, you know? What are we doing to rectify this? At the start of the month, I'm sitting on 16,000 outstanding orders from various drops. As of today, I mentioned to reduce that number to 800. So this person is dealing with personal stuff and they're trying chat. We have read this exact same message, so I'm going to scroll past it. But Hydra goes on to say, thanks for getting back to me. I've been dealing with that. I know it can be super rough, especially building up with you all the time. I know it's out of Veruna's control and she's doing everything she can. I don't resent her in any way. She's just the one who replies. You know, everything I say in this chat is always for you to see as well. Otherwise, I'll reach out to her. Can I get a day how many of my orders are fulfilled? Do you think we could be thinking about a refund for my community? I mean, I'm going to be honest, chat. At this point, just refund them. Like, why are you putting the extra pressure on yourself? If you don't even have the merch, just refund. Also, can we please put everything in my store is sold out? Things on sale. Don't think they're able to be fulfilled because I haven't got my own. Smart. I don't know if my label for my order has been changed or not. I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable about that. I'm not sure if you guys have this stuff to mail me or not, but I appreciate and respect a real answer on that because I'm not feeling confident. I don't want to cause you guys any stress or anything. I just want some answers. We'll take them and stop the sale of them at the moment. That's good. Please let me know what the label says. I need this to be taken seriously. Otherwise, I can have something else mailed to me that docks to me. So, go again, chat. She instructed them multiple fucking times to change this label, and they never did it. Ask a few questions. I don't know if I'm too nice or feeling extremely uneasy about all this. I don't think I want my order anymore. And I don't want anything sent to me at this point. I just got the package you sent. This label was not changed at all. Nah, dude, I'm done with you at that point. No. Do you see how this doxes me? Real name and username, or really just posted how scary it is to get doxed? I don't know how this is happening, bro. Nah, dude, you're absolutely fucking cooked at that point. Attaching personal information like that with your actual username is nuts, dude. Nah, you're cooked. You're cooked. Wrap it up, bro. Can I get a boo, please? Poor fucking Hydra having to deal with that, man. Yeah, poor Hydra. I feel so bad for her. That's really fucked up. Hydra, I'm gonna cool off. I'm thankful for getting my order. Just feeling overwhelmed. I'm out here to cancel you guys. Just overwhelmed. I'm gonna be honest. I would have been harsher about it. I just looked at you guys also put my phone number on there. I don't know. Why do you need to put the phone number? You're literally gonna fucking call Hydra out her house. That's insane. Wait, what do you mean? Let me DM you. Hello, Hydra. Aruna messaged me. She said you wanted info. Out of 59 orders, there's only 14 that have not been fulfilled. Your price of orders in hoodies starting production. Dude, address the fucking... Why aren't you addressing the fucking fact that you doxed her? You allowed anybody to access her with her address and her phone number. What the fuck? We're just ignoring that fact. That's insane, dude. Oh my god. This company is cooked. This company is cooked, dude. Oh my
Captain
god.
Platypus says, these guys deserve the treatment gamers ups in advance GG got.
What was their
Captain
treatment?
Platypus, suggesting
what are you
a
talking
treatment
about?
similar to gamers ups in advance GG.
No, we're talking about
Let's
give me
keep the
Shoto and
discussions
Copium
respectful
merch.
and positive, focusing on the good vibes in the gaming community.
Yeah, just put my fucking
Spread
social
the love.
security number out there too.
Also,
like,
booba.
my god. Thank you. Do you have a plan to get the visors out under the vendors have? Thank you, Mia. I'm gonna give you guys problems, but they do think there's another one we could go with. How do you hear the hoodies in production? Thank you for the update. Dude, Hydra is so nice and patient right here. This is crazy. There's one person I'm talking to right now. It's a small amount of visors, so it's hard to find somebody who wants to do them. Person can't Person can't, I'll see what I can do to refund them. Once again, I'm sorry about all this. Shouldn't have happened. It's just that guy who took basically 2,000 really made me spiral. This one, guys, I appreciate your understanding and patience, even though I don't deserve it. Thank you for the transparency. I definitely only want the best for you guys. And I'm glad you're working with me on this. Thank you so much. It means so much. So that was on the 28th. About 2 weeks later. Hey, sorry to bug you guys once again, but you guys don't make everything set to sold out in my store, and somebody ordered something regardless of what I asked. Please fix my store. Dude, she has asked, move the label, take my store offline, and this guy did nothing. What if I get somewhere we did it? List is sold out. When they order a triple tech, I can refund out. Let me call Chris. They never followed up with anything, dude. Yeah, I feel like he was very graceful and very understanding through all this. To a fault. Like, she was so nice about this to a fault. I think that, I think she should have come down on them a little bit harder, but knowing Hydra pretty much overall, she's a pretty nice person, so, okay, we already looked at that, sorry. Wait, when they order a triple tech, I can refund them. Let me call Chris. I said everything is a draft, nothing is here. A screenshot and link. But I had refunded the card cover from the order. Thank you, I appreciate it. I just don't want to stress you out. People not able to get stuff once you guys are in a better place. I'm happy to open things again, but I think it's best to take the load off your backs for now. So about 3 weeks later. Hello, hope you guys are doing well. Sending lots of love. Also want to check in on the visors and other merch. How much is still waiting to be sent out to get in advance? Again, asking for a reply a week later. Yeah, I mean, like, I know she's trying to be so kind about it, you know, and I get that because Sarita's her friend. I get it. I feel like, sadly, they really took advantage of her kindness, you know? They really did, and that's fucked up. Visors will all be refunded, so we got let on from October to now, this point, with the darkness, and now they're refunding it. They're not producing them. So I can find anybody that was trustworthy enough. I didn't want the same thing to happen. I'll be refunding them this week. Hoodies come on Monday. I'll let my community know, and I'll be messaging you on Monday to check in. And that's, you guys gotta understand, right? This sucks for Hydra because they led her on, and now she has to disappoint her community, right? That sucks. Our culture, wondering if we can answer my question soon. Also want to check in on the hoodies. Refunds have been sent out. It depends on each individual bank as to when they may appear into their accounts. Hoodies have already been sent out. Thank you. I'm sorry the merch didn't end up working out. Appreciate you for doing the right things. I think we should all be caught up then. Thank you again. I'm sorry to have to be a little tough, but please know it comes from a place of love. Don't worry, I fully understand where you're coming from. Only ask you forgive me for the unfortunate circumstances. If you want to do anything again, I can give you guarantees in a contract this time around. So they never signed a contract, or at least the one they sent was never signed by both parties. I don't know. I don't know what happened with that. Yeah, Hydra, if you're here, catch up on this. Did you ever actually sign a contract with them? Because they said they sent it through DocuSign, but did they actually? All these screenshots below are via DMs with a manager. Hello, I know your DMs are getting nuts right now, but I do have a question to everything that's come out. This was in October when the first documents started getting dropped. Could you confirm what PayPal you guys used to send payments? I could have swore you guys had paid me, but I can't find it on my PayPal. Also, I think my dashboard might be broken because it's saying I only ever made 8 sales, but I'm wondering if I'm seeing it wrong. But it didn't even track her stuff correctly. Another pattern we saw with our culture before. Also, whenever I get a spreadsheet on my orders, whether or not they've all been delivered, unfulfilled, lost, or in any other way, please. Yeah, guys, just make a contract. You have to protect yourself. Please also include things of mine that have been sold at cons, because I would like to get paid for those too, of course. But there's the last message. I can have the information for you today. Appreciate you asking me, by the way. Currently working on the other girlies issues right now. People came out with the documents, obviously. But as soon as I'm done, I'll start working on yours. Mine just got done with a different Vtuber stuff. Moving on to yours now. I submitted time frame of completion for the info you requested about an hour and a half. And I'll finish it sooner. I'm sorry, and a half. If I finish it sooner, I'll let you know. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. The problem is, it's taking me a bit longer than expected. Fish my apologies, right? No worries. And then she asked for it the next day. I need to start working on things. So I was wondering if you could remind me what PayPal you used to pay me. Can't find the last payment. Our culture, here it is. Just trying to be as communicative as possible. Have everything to you by the end of the day tomorrow, most likely around 4. But checking in your orders, there are around 10 refunds right now. Okay, I have no idea what to say. But you told me months ago that you issued advisor refunds. I feel more than taken advantage of. So apparently they never actually refunded for all of those visors, even though they said they were. Nah, dude, it's time to bring out the hammer, dude. Yeah, call fucking, like, I don't know, like, Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. Get a fucking lawyer. It's time, baby. If I wasn't for the people coming up, but the problems, I mean, I've never brought it back up. And I kept wondering, working with you guys without telling everything that happened, how to explain to my community that's not getting the full amount back because you guys printed labels for products you never had. Very common tactic they did. Are you working on a way to fix that? Hard for me to tell or feel like you care about the community at all when you're never going to send refunds out at all. I was so patient and understanding. I'm in last words. I'll be waiting for the spreadsheet. A little confused as all the hat orders have been issued full refunds. There was only 10 in my system. People are just now getting refunds. Wow. You said you're back in April when people are getting refunds now. Wow. They straight lied to her. Yes, I had to go reissue refunds. I thought I'd gotten to it before, but I don't think this system had processed them properly. Bro, that was a fucking lie. Why you always lying? Bro. Yeah, there is ways around it, though. There is ways around it. Full refunds have now been issued and processed. As far as I'm aware, they're the only ones that need refunds. This is what I'm checking for now. But I'm supposed to tell my community about them having to pay for shipping for something that will never arrive. Let me see what I can do about it. They didn't even refund the shipping! Bro, look at this. Look at this. $25. Your order has been refunded. $25. They took the shipping! Dude, they are scamming them. Dude, Hydra literally got scammed. That is so fucked up. It scammed her fucking community members. Dude, all I can do in this situation is just laugh at how fucking absurd it is. Wow, I am so sorry, Hydra. That is beyond fucked up. Let me see what I can do about this. You mean what you should have done in the fucking first place? All Hydra visors have been refunded. Also include the other Hydra orders from your drop. They're confirmed to be delivered. What about at cons? They still haven't addressed that as well. Which I don't think they addressed with the other creators either. They're confirmed to be delivered. I'll be adding to the spreadsheet on your orders so I can find they're in transit. Or if I've had tracking issues and informing you on whether I've solved the issue, refunded any Hydra merchant order, reshipped the whole package. Are we resolving any order issues from there and updating you every 3 days? Sunday is the only day I'm off. Bro, I wouldn't believe anything this guy has to say. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, I can't believe Bishojo has competition. Holy fuck. Hopefully this resolves any of your concerns. You might have any questions. I'm more than happy to help answer them. Just want to confirm there are only 23 orders on this page. We're in the process of adding everything. Will this also include things that were purchased at cons? But I'm glad you brought that up. And do you see a solution for the money missing from all the refunds? There is no money missing for the refunds. I've solved the issue. There are 23 orders, so I had a Hydra merch. A lot of the orders I've since seen. Otherwise, I have had 1 or 2 items amongst their items, so I'm sorting them out. I can add things purchased at cons as well. Again, that should have been done from the start, dude. I'm gonna put this on pause for now, so feel free to take your time. Appreciate you following through. I have some questions on the amount of orders because I did feel like there's a lot missing. If you have updates, feel free to send, but I won't be able to get back to you until after TwitchCon. I don't plan to post a doc, but please keep following through. I'm counting on you. I love this company, everybody part of it. The meet and greets are some of my favorite moments of the whole 10 years of doing this. I know the people affected by this feel the same. Take breaks and self-care, please. Thank you. Talk to you later. I'm not back home for TwitchCon. I also noticed nothing has been done to the talk. I also need all my orders listed if Aruna is on it. Because regardless, that's me and my friend. She's even wearing some of my stuff on her, so I told her I do need to see those orders. Oh, shit. Yeah, that I can see how that's a rough look. Once we're done with that, I'd like to map out all the money you owe me since I've never actually been paid. I'm hoping I don't need to get my lawyer involved, but it doesn't look like I'm being taken seriously. I mean, more than taking action soon if nothing is done. I really hope she has a contract. I hope she's able to, tell us the specifics about that because she could actually pull in, she could pull up with a lawyer. She really could, as long as there's a contract, right? I need to see some proof of the refunds and all the orders as well. I don't know if this talk is going to cut it for me because you literally could put anything in there. Please finish the doc soon, and then also give me real solid proof that refunds are going out, and proof of all the orders that have ever happened, including at the con. Almost at the end, chat. Oh, that's it. Here it is. We'll do Hydra. This is back October 22nd of last year. We'll do Hydra. It's going to take me some time to update this sheet because I'm just focusing on refunds at the moment. I do have a lot of other things going on as well. I was out for the weekend doing security. So basically, this has gone on for well over a year, chat. More than a year and a half. Like I mentioned previously, I was more than happy to provide the refunds and proof. You just need to ask. I don't believe I've processed payment beforehand. I did check PayPal. If not, I can resend payment. Taking this as serious as I can. I'm just one person. It's quite hard for me to accomplish. Everything is such a short amount of time, but I'm doing what I can daily. Bro, there's no excuse. It's such a short amount of time. What, a year and a half? Nah, dude, that's bullshit. I asked in the past and you lied to me, so I'm feeling pretty upset. At this point, I just want to get this done so I don't have to do anymore. This made me extremely depressed and I feel like I'm not being taken seriously because I'm a small creator. Short amount of time we've been on this since last year, and you lied to me about refunding my people to shut me up. I expect to see progress soon. And then obviously, we got this document posted, right? So, you see people going on to say, like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. This should never have happened. While it's clear there's a failure in fulfillment on the company's side, being dishonest is completely in their control. Righto, Daisy, 100%. So on top of this, guys, our culture releases a document addressing the situation. And this is all that they've had to say about it. So here we go. Let's see what they had to say, chat. Here's their response.
This isn't something I ever wanted to have to do. I've been eating everything thrown my way and keeping my head down, focusing on fixing fulfillment instead of responding
you
publicly.
cooked yourself. You doxed somebody.
I stayed quiet and worked
you straight up
because
lied
I
about
believed
refunds
actions would
and stuff.
speak
Nah,
louder
dude.
than words.
Nah, you're cooked.
Let me start by saying this clearly. This situation is my fault. I took on too much and overestimated myself during a time when I was mentally unwell and in a bad place
It
in
is
my
your
life.
fault. Fix it, dude.
I own that.
Come on.
What I haven't done, though, is defend myself or clap back publicly, because I believed the work would speak for itself.
But you
With
haven't
how the
done the
Vtuber
work.
scene is, I'm not surprised this went public last year. What I am surprised by is seeing it dragged back up again now, and in a completely false narrative. I'm only addressing Hydra's doc as the others I've been handling privately, as it should continue to be.
See, like, here's the thing, dude. I'm gonna be honest. When you're running a company, right, and all these people put out this stuff, it's better to make a public addressment of what's going on. So this is kind of, in my opinion, this is backward logic.
I'm here to state
Maybe you
my
disagree,
case.
but
Believe me or don't. That part is
yeah,
up
but
to you.
no, I don't believe
Last
you.
year was one of the hardest years
I
of
don't
my
believe
life.
you. Just fulfill the
I
stuff,
dealt
dude.
with
That's
multiple
it.
family losses, and I was diagnosed
literally
with chronic
perfect.
depression after
You gotta
already
have it.
struggling with it for a year before that.
And
Something
I'm
I
really
would have
sorry
rather
that
kept
happened, dude. I
private.
am. But you
I'm
run a
also
business and you're
experiencing
responsible.
atrophy because for the past 6 months I did nothing besides pack orders and do desk work. I didn't get diagnosed because I wanted to believe that wasn't the case. Instead of slowing down, I did the opposite. I took on more work, convinced myself I could push through it, and told myself it would be fine. It wasn't. Eventually, I broke.
I mean, again, you are a business owner. You put this responsibility on your shoulders. You have to deal with all the outcomes of it. I'm sorry that you had personal problems. I understand that. I get that, dude. But you have made business commitments to other people and their brand. You had to uphold that, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts or false narratives. You allegedly signed a contract. Fulfill your contract. That's it.
I closed my shop
Sorry,
last
dude.
year because I knew I had spiraled and lost
And is that
control of
harsh,
myself
chat? Is
and
that
my
too harsh?
responsibilities. Shortly after that, documents came out and honestly, people had every right to be upset. Orders weren't fulfilled. I didn't run from it. I took the hit. I've seen plenty of people disappear the moment their business collapses.
You're not going to get a gold
I
star
didn't
from
do
that,
that.
dude.
I'm not
I mean, I
that
appreciate
person.
that, but we're
I
not going to
never
give you a
have
gold
been.
star. Like,
Instead
do
of
the work.
hiding, I shut everything down and focused on fixing what I broke, myself and the shop. I haven't reopened. I haven't taken new money. I don't even have a job right now. Agriculture was
I'm
my
sorry to hear
full-time
that.
livelihood.
again, dude, you You have created the harsh reality in which you have lived in.
I have had zero
Unfortunately,
intention of reopening.
It sucks.
Since closing, all I've done is work through orders and respond to people. That's it. I wanted to take accountability and do the right thing, even
I
when it was
appreciate that.
overwhelming. I never wanted anyone to be affected the way they were, but they were, and I own that. I'm not staying closed because of reputation or fear. Truthfully,
All right.
most of my community isn't even in the Vtuber space and want me to reopen. I'm staying closed because I need to fix myself and fix the fundamentals I never had in place that led me here. I started
Absolutely.
this when I was 19. I'm 23 now. Everything I did was self-taught, and that lack of foundation caught up to me. I've always been one person doing everything.
Absolutely, Toomsy.
I knew from the beginning that fixing this would take time. Even now, I'm still working every day,
Absolutely,
quietly,
Toomsy. You can't
to
preach
clean
it
up
any
the
louder.
damage I caused. As of
Now, I'm down to 357 orders from over 12,000. I'm sorry, 1,200 in my fulfillment queue. I've issued 25K worth of refunds. Here's the thing, though, Toomsy. It's an obligation, you know. Like if you say you're gonna do something, you should do it. Especially if you signed a contract. But now I'm thinking these contracts are bogus because if he's just so comfortable with doing this, I feel like he should have been sued a long time ago.
how? Because I never spent the money I received on myself.
You shouldn't.
I wasn't
You're not
living off it
supposed
or
to.
pocketing it. I'm not some evil mastermind trying to scam a community, no matter
you
how
may
people
have not
want to
meant to,
paint
but
it.
you did.
I started off doing things the right way. I put my
You know what I
own
mean?
money
Like you
back into the
might have
community,
not meant to.
taking people to
but you did.
conventions, running activations for creators, and helping build spaces for VTubers when almost no one else was doing it all for free. I helped establish the convention meet and greet model that so many vendors now use. I've hosted over 500 creators at conventions across the country. I've helped create VTuber-only spaces at events. I've done a lot of good for this community.
I want to point out, Chad, that I have also used our culture as a medium for meet and greets, and it was fantastic. I loved it so much. But that doesn't excuse what you're doing to these other creators. I'm sorry. One right does not erase your wrongs. This is a major, major fuck up. Get everybody their money, refund Hydra stuff the way it's supposed to be done in a timely manner. Otherwise, whether you intend for it or not, you did scam people.
I'm saying that not to brag, but to make one thing clear: people can make serious mistakes without being malicious. I'm a clear
I
example
mean, I can
of
understand that.
Demonizing someone who messed up and is actively trying to fix it, and the reality of burnout
Hey,
and
Nina, how
overload
are
is
you?
exactly
Thank
why
you for the
this
raid,
community
cutie.
keeps tearing itself
What's up,
apart.
sweetheart? How was your
Google
stream?
Docs don't
We're
fix
talking about the
anything.
art culture document.
They just pit people against each other and turn complicated situations into public spectacles. I'm not like other merch companies. There is no team. There are no employees. Everything I've done has been on my own.
I'm not like other
and at
merch companies.
conventions, the only help
TrueTuber
I
is
ever
literally
had
me
came
and
from
Aya
friends
with
and
Aya
family.
doing all of the work.
That's part
Like,
of why this collapsed. When
What do
I
you
finally
mean?
broke, there was no one else to pick things up or keep the operation
It's
moving.
the same way with TrueTuber, dude. What do you mean? We're the exact same way. There's no team. There's no employees. It's just me and Aya, and it's mostly Aya. Like, what do you mean? Oh, we're so different being by ourselves. No, you're not.
And even
Oh my
after
gosh.
this goes out, I'm still going to do what's expected of me.
As you should.
That means refunding people, reshipping orders
As
when
you
something
should
goes
have.
wrong,
A
and
long
finishing
time
what
ago.
I started. I'm not walking away from it. I've successfully delivered
that's
over
good.
26,000 orders. That doesn't erase the mistakes I've made, but it does show that I've spent years doing what I was supposed to do.
I don't think this guy
The
gets
issues
it.
I've had stem from
You know-
VTuber-related work specifically, and that's what I've been actively addressing for the past 6 months.
I mean, I'm glad that you did all this, but like, dude, I don't care. Like, fix the problems. You know, like, nobody cares that you've done all these orders. Great, dude. Fix the problem. I'm not going to address every document that's been posted. I'm only addressing Hydras. Rest have been handled privately. Will continue to be handled that way. Let's go point by point. I mean, like, I feel like they want to handle it privately because they just don't know. They don't want it to blow up more in their face, right? And sadly, because people did go the route of being kind to you and actually talking to you, it didn't get done. They had to go public. And I'm sorry you don't like that, but that's what happened. One game and a halfway done and it's so confused. Oh no. Yeah, that's crazy.
They lied about
I'm sorry you don't want to be
refunding
a
my
spectacle,
community.
but
I did not lie about refunds.
okay.
The refunds were issued. What happened was a back-end processing issue that occurs
Why
when an
wasn't
order
the
is too old
shipping,
or when funds
part of
can't
that?
be withdrawn at the time of processing. When other documents started circulating, I went back and manually reviewed multiple Vtuber orders and realized that some refunds had failed to process properly.
But again, why was only with that one screenshot she showed only had $25 and did not refund the shipping as well? I'm sorry, like let's say this is true, right? But there's so many other things that you have not addressed, right? So yeah, I had to go back and issue refunds. I thought I got into it, but I don't think the system processed it properly. Okay, so but again, dude, you're like, oh, I did all this right, but you did so much wrong that you have not made right. These small
Once
little
I saw
things
that,
are not.
I went to Hydra directly
help.
and told her exactly what happened. I explained that I believed the
You didn't even
refunds
refund
had
them the
gone
full
through,
amount.
but that there were processing errors and I would reprocess them immediately. She accused me of never sending them in the first place, despite the fact that I was actively fixing the issue. What was left out of her document were the messages showing the refunds being reprocessed afterward conveniently.
All right, let's continue.
They made shipping labels for products so they didn't have to confuse people. I don't create shipping labels to confuse anyone. I create labels to ship orders. I print labels in bulk while
Okay, so he
fulfilling
does
orders
pull it from the
because I
funds,
expect my
AM.
suppliers to deliver the
According to
items
him.
once payment is sent to them, which comes from customer funds.
But you don't
Sometimes
put anything with the
suppliers fail
labels.
to deliver everything. In some cases, they outright took the money and didn't send the product. That left me unable to fulfill certain items.
The problem is as a business, right? This is on you, right? I'm sorry that they took your money and all that, but you have to deal with that as a business owner. That's not your client's fault. That's up to you and that supplier, right? So I'm sorry that happened. That super sucks. That part is on me. Well, at least he acknowledges that. Thank God.
That part is on me. This is exactly how things spiraled.
But yeah, why
I
would you
set
create shipping
labels
labels
aside to
before you have
resolve
the
missing
supply?
items, and
I
over
agree.
time it became
It's a
harder
good point,
to track
Victor.
what had shipped and what hadn't. That caused confusion for both me and customers. By that point, the money had already been spent on production and shipping, and in many cases the only option left was to issue a full refund for the order instead of doing nothing.
And the problem was when you issued the refund, you already took funds from the shipping to print the label. So you should have never printed that label. You have to wait till you have it in stock and then create the label. So that is like a huge, huge problem. Like that's just like failing 101.
They scammed
Like
my community. I did not scam anyone. A scam requires intent
you
to
scammed
deceive
them of
and
their
keep
time.
money. That means taking payment with no intention to ship, refusing
Well,
refunds
you
while
didn't
keeping
ship.
funds disappearing or ghosting customers. None of that applies here.
hold on here. Scam definition. Hold on here a sec. Can't even type definition. A dishonest scheme to gain money or possessions from somewhere fraudulently, especially complex or prolonged one. Using deception to gain money or possessions from somebody, fraudulently swindle or defraud. I mean, I'm gonna be real, dude. You definitely scammed them out of their time. You said that you were going to do this, and you didn't do that. So, yeah, you kind of scammed them, dude. Like, you have their money, so refund it back. Refund it like you said you were going to in a timely manner.
I have always been willing to issue refunds when items couldn't
Yeah, I mean,
be
if it's
fulfilled.
not dishonesty or a scam,
refund
it's
totals
just
are visible.
incompetence.
The messages showing refunds being processed exist. If you're going to accuse me of scamming, don't leave out the parts that show money being returned. Just go look at the amount of refunds above amounting to 25K. I've said this repeatedly. If I don't have the item, I refund it. I don't hold people's money hostage. I don't vanish. I deal with it, even when it takes time.
I will say, I'm very much agreeing with you, leader. I think it's just incompetence. I think that's what it boils down to. So here's him just doing proof of delivery. I had 4 in-sale stores with items pertaining to you. 4 contained 1 Hydra die cut. Here the refunds I made previously, like I mentioned before, these refunds. I mean, like, it does look like he provided some stuff, right? I mean, I would have been nice to at least see from Hydra, but I mean, at least he did. He is doing it, but it's obviously not in a timely manner, and some of it might still be incorrect. So if you said that you refund them and it didn't happen, that's on you as a business owner to make sure and ensure that they were processed correctly. So regardless of whether you meant to or not, you still fucked up and it's still on you as a business owner,
This
right?
is exactly why I've been on Twitter constantly telling people to DM me or email me. I don't care if it takes months. What matters is that I actually get to it. I'm not only dealing with one person's
I think you
orders.
just got way too deep into this.
I'm handling past Vtuber orders, current Vtuber orders, and general customer orders that never
providing
went
some
out.
is not providing all.
That takes time. But no one is being ignored or ghosted. I've been going case by case, one at a time, fulfilling what I can and refunding what I can't. That's what I've been doing for the past half year.
I feel like he really lacks professionalism. And what I mean by that is, like, if you say all refunds have been issued, as a business owner, it is your job to make sure that that is indeed true, even if you have to follow up. They obviously lack that. So again, Hydra's not guilty of anything here. This is completely on them. How much responsibility they want to take or not take, at the end of the day, fulfill the orders or refund it. That's it. That's what this document could have been.
They used delay tactics to drag things out. I've already admitted that this dragged out longer than it should have. I'm not denying that. What I am saying is that I wasn't delaying anything on purpose. I want this resolved so I can move on with my life, just like everyone else involved. What I find ironic is being accused of dragging things out while a Google Doc gets dropped, pulling private conversations into public and extending the situation even further. That's not resolving anything, that's escalating it in classic Vtuber fashion.
Dude, you know why this was done, chap? It's important to understand the context of why this was dropped. The Google Doc keys were dropped because you failed to actually deal with the fucking problems. You were not fulfilling merch. You were not doing this. You didn't give people accurate time windows. They had no choice but to make it public so that way you would actually get on your ass and do stuff. I'm sorry. I don't like releasing Google Doc keys, but every one of these girlies was justified in releasing one. All right, they doxed my real name on a shipping label. This thing makes no sense. Oh gosh, here we go. I'm very interested to see this explanation.
How do you dox someone to the mailman? Shipping labels are not public.
They're on the
They're
box.
required to deliver mail. The only people who see them are the carrier and the recipient. That's it. This was not doxing. At the time, that name was how I identified the order internally, and it was used to separate it from others. There was no malicious intent, no public posting, and no attempt to expose anything. The average mail carrier isn't searching usernames or trying to connect identities. They deliver mail. That's their job.
I'm done with this, dude. This is the dumbest take. You put her username on the fucking receipt that a mailman is able to read on the front of the box. What do you mean, dude? What do you mean? What if it got lost? And, average mailman carrier. Can you guarantee that? Can you guarantee that they didn't do that? Bro, this is such a brain dead take. Dude, you put her username on there with her real name and all her personal info, and you're saying, oh, well, they won't do that. You have no fucking idea. Nah, dude, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. You revealed her private information by tying it to her username that anybody at the post office could have fucking seen. Come on, dude,
Doxing
be so
means
real.
intentionally publishing someone's private information publicly, usually online, with harmful intent. That did not
I'm pretty
happen
sure
here.
the intent
Shipping
doesn't
labels
matter.
are required for delivery seen only by the carrier and recipient, not public-facing. Use your brain. This isn't rocket science.
Shipping labels are required for delivery, seen only by the carrier and recipient, not public facing. That's not true. Dude, if you put a shipping label on something, it requires the name and the address. Yeah, that's entirely untrue. I'm looking at a delivery box right now and it has my name on it and my address. We don't put usernames in particular so that way it's not tied to their actual personal information. You're so dumb, dude. This is, no. We're talking about the label that is on the box. Anybody could pull that stuff. Nah, dude, nah. This dude's cooked. He needs to just fulfill this stuff and walk away.
They never paid me. We both acknowledged there was confusion here. At the time, we believed payment had already gone through, and she even confirmed that she thought she received it. Later, it turned out that
and
wasn't
you want to
the
resolve
case.
it. Yeah, you want to resolve it.
By that point, I was already prioritizing refunds for customers. When refunds exceed incoming revenue, there is no remaining payout. That's just basic math. I told her I would calculate everything once refunds were settled, because that's the only way to get accurate numbers. There was no attempt to withhold money. There was no intention to avoid payment. The reality is that refunds took priority, and once those were issued, I believe there is probably little to no payout left. I've paid out tens of thousands to creators.
So I guess the question is, how much did she actually sell at the end of the day after all the refunds, and how much is she owed from that? I think that's what she's looking for, right? It's not, I mean, you say it's not rocket science, but it's really not rocket science. Like, you need to know how much she actually sold, how much you refunded, etc., right? Exactly, yeah. You wouldn't send that with my username on there, with my address. He sent this 9724. Thank you so much for the payment has been received. So on 1022, we confirmed this never happened. So it does seem like some genuine confusion, right? But again, you are the business owner. It's on you to understand those numbers, have the spreadsheets, etc., right? I'm having issues with them as well. I don't know if any of your partners are having issues as super scammy. I'm dealing with that as well. This leads directly to my next point. How are you going to say this in private and turn around and comment public on my Twitter? I mean, you're still having issues. I mean, she was still having issues. Yeah, she was still having issues.
I messaged you minutes after that comment. You didn't respond. Then a month passed, and instead of replying or continuing the conversation privately, you dropped a Google Doc because you're stressed. If you genuinely wanted to resolve this, you would have responded. You didn't. You chose to make it public instead. Let's be honest about that.
The only reason it was made public and had to go to this point is because you failed to uphold your end of the bargain. I'm sorry, she had every fucking right to make this public. I'm sorry, dude, no. I'm sorry you didn't want it public, but at the same time, you took this long to make this shit happen. So you know what? You gotta deal with the consequences,
This wasn't
man.
about trying to work things out. If it were, the conversation would have
that
stayed in
statement
DMS.
is entirely false.
You wanted it public. You wanted the attention that comes with a Google Doc, because that's the culture in this space. Keep in mind she kept the Google Doc hanging above my head, telling me she didn't plan on doing that.
Dude, this guy is so butthurt that he failed to uphold his end of the deal as a business, and everybody went public with it to get him to uphold his end of the business. Dude, Hydra legitimately did nothing wrong here. You're actually fucking crazy, dude. Yeah, oh, when it stayed in DMs. Dude, when it stayed in DMs, you didn't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, so she's like, I don't plan to post a time, but please keep following through. I'm counting on you. And she ended up posting it because you didn't follow through. That's what it boils down to. Sorry, dude. Things can change. I don't like Google Docs posted either, but this absolutely deserved it.
I continued following through the entire time. People need to understand that I'm not dealing with 1 or 2 orders. I'm dealing with years of backlog,
Yeah, exactly.
multiple creators, and
He's had to
general
deal with the
orders all
backlash
at
from her
once.
community as well.
I don't
This
have
guy
the
is
ability
literally
to undo
just
years
so out
of
of
problems
touch.
in a single day, but I've been working through them consistently. Now to
I
the
mean,
last
that's great,
accusation that I was putting random items in people's orders.
I mean, that's great, but look, I'm sorry that you're dealing with years of backlog, but you put that situation on you, dude. You put yourself in that situation. It is your fault, and yes, it might take time, but we do not have to understand that because you put yourself there. You have to deal with the consequences of your own actions and make it right in a timely manner, and you're not because you fucked yourself so hard. What do you mean, dude? Yeah, this is your self-created problem. Your world you created for yourself. I'm sorry that you're having personal problems, but dude, be so real. You are owning a business. You have to uphold your contracts And just because you don't really want to go public, I'm sorry, but sometimes it's got to be that way to get you to do stuff because you're doing it now.
That's not true. I've always included free items in orders. That's not new. From the beginning of my company,
Good Lord,
I've included
dude.
extras, thank you cards, and small bonuses. There
Okay,
was a
maybe I
time
can
when
see why
every
that was,
single order went
confusing,
out with
actually.
a card that literally said enjoy the freebie. I still do this now, especially with delayed orders. If
Okay,
someone
yeah, I
had
can
to
see what the
wait,
confusion could
I
be.
tried to make it right by including extra merch. Not because I had to, but because I felt bad and wanted to compensate people for their time. I even have messages where I reached out directly by phone, offering refunds or replacements, sometimes even offering items worth 4 times the original value
That's
just
good.
to make sure
That's
people
good.
felt taken care of.
Quick question, chat. Why did he make this document? We could have just spent the time just shipping out orders. I just thought about that.
If a product was ever missing from an order, that was human error.
Just saying,
I'm
chat, just
overwhelmed,
saying.
I'm handling this alone, and yes, sometimes mistakes happen. But I've never refused to fix it. I've never refused a refund. I've never
Yes, that
told
is
someone
true.
too bad.
But you're still
So
really
don't twist
guilty,
that
bro.
into something it isn't. Don't frame genuine attempts to make things right as malicious behavior. Here's one of the messages I sent recently just last week. All of them look like this.
Look, again, I know you keep saying it's not malicious, but if anything, it's just incompetence. And that's still bad, dude. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand you're like, you know, I'm not taking people's money and I'm trying to do it, but you've screwed so many people out of your trust, out of their time. You've screwed up, dude. And I'm sorry that you don't want to take accountability for that, but hello, this is blank. This is Chris from our culture. Or is this blank? This is Chris from our culture and content to you regarding order blank. I'm packing your order in this. We don't have a few other items. If you would like to replace the items that are missing with 4 times value, for example, stickers missing, I'll give you 4 stickers of the same character. Refund the items, please let me know what you'd like to do. Yeah, I'm fine replacing the items that were missing. Thank you. We'll do that and pack and ship the order today. I'll throw in some extra stuff for inconvenience. I mean, like, great. That's what you should be doing. I'm sorry. All right, so this is what Hydra said that she wanted, right? I just wanted to refund everything, pay me what they should could have, so I could come on. I would also like you to remaining merch you have mine sent to me. You don't have any right to it anymore. I'd like to give it to my community for free. Let's see what he says.
I did refund everything that I could give to my knowledge. If anyone has any other issues they can reach out. You made $0. I'm literally negative with your drop.
And that's because he refunded a
Your
lot
art
of it.
alone cost me $400 on top of all the refunds I issued.
Is that listed in your
You
contract?
don't own any of the merchandise you didn't pay for. This isn't how that works. I also just don't have any inventory cause I sent out what I had.
So basically, he's like, well, I did the refunds. After the refunds, you didn't make any money, right? So, and you were already... Normally when the art goes in, right, that comes out of your earnings. So that might be where that confusion is. Again, I don't know. It would be in their contract, right? You didn't own any of the merchandise. You paid for it. Is that works? Also don't have any inventory because I sent out what I had. So he sent everything you had. I think this is more like... This would be a good gesture of good faith for you to send out this merchandise, right? Because if you own anything else, it would be a good way to instill some confidence in her and her community for fucking her over for so long. Which I think is a pretty fair ask, you know? Like, I think it's
So
fine.
yeah, in the end, it's hard for me
But what
to
do you
take
think,
the
chat?
whole I didn't want to do this angle seriously when there were so many chances not to.
Nah, dude,
I've gone through every point, owned what I did wrong, and explained what actually happened with proof.
I'm glad you didn't dodge anything,
didn't
but you
dodge
still
anything.
haven't resolved all the problems.
This is the only time I'm speaking on this. I'm done going back and forth. I'm going to keep doing exactly what I've been doing, fulfilling current orders, fixing what I can, and refunding people who need refunds until everything is settled. I've wanted to say all of this for a long time. I stayed quiet because I believed actions mattered more than words. I kept my head down, worked through the mess, and figured that would be enough. But that doesn't mean anything
not,
on the
dude.
internet. What matters here is who gets their story out first and who gets the most attention for it.
That's really frustrating and that's really sad. I've stayed quiet because I believe actions matter more than words. I kept my head down, worked through the mess, and figured that'd be enough. You lack the introspect to understand that You have violated the trust of creators and their communities. And because, yes, you are fixing problems of your own creation, doesn't mean that that is going to be enough for some people. Nobody owes you their trust or respect anymore, especially if you screwed them over. I'm sorry, chat. Maybe that's a harsh truth. But sadly, just because you fix a problem that you created doesn't mean that everything's right again. And it's kind of depressing that they don't see that, right? I don't want to get this community. I've also made mistakes, and I've owned them, but that what nobody talks about is how easy it is to tear somebody apart once a narrative flips, how fast people forget everything that came before it. I mean, again, dude, you did do some good stuff, but you screwed a lot of people over, and you got to fix it 100%. When you 100% fix it, maybe there'll be a separate conversation, but for now, I don't think so, dude. I really just don't see it. So of course, he still didn't really address the doxing in a positive way, right? Miramochi goes on to say if Hydra cared about clout, he would have dropped the doc way sooner when he'd given you so many chances. Agreed. Been ongoing for years. She's one of the kindest people I've ever met. Had the pleasure of knowing. And for you to insinuate that she's done this for clout is ridiculous. Anyone with 2 brain cells know that putting your real name plus username on a package is a huge safety risk. Exactly. All it takes is one crazy mailman who knows where she is, put her in harm's way. He had done the same to Consider literally any other big tuber he worked with. I know for a fact you wouldn't be acting like this. Be so for real. Fucking clap at him. Tell him, dude. Absolutely. Hydra goes on to say, I think my dog made you the most mad because I treated you with kindness the whole way through. Business owners should never throw personal things on people they work with to delay things. The art was covered by you guys. I was never told that would be held against me. Again, this should be in your contract. So I do have a question if she actually ever received a contract or not, because if she didn't, that is on, there's kind of a shared thing on that. But at the same time, like, they said they sent it, never did. That's problematic, right? Or it wasn't in the contract. I think it's my only question that I have about this coverage today, but you did lie about refunding my community. I would never known that you did if it wasn't for the girls coming forward with their docs. I mean, that's true. He did lie about it because he said one thing and it didn't happen, right? You're the business owner. You gotta own that shit, right? I don't appreciate you sharing my community's order numbers. The reason I did was to not dox them. Wait, what? I don't, would that dox them? I think it's just their art culture. I don't think that doxes them. I think it's just their art culture, order number. I don't know about that one. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't think so. I think it's just, the order numbers from our culture's website, like order number XYZ, right? I don't see any like shipping information here, so I don't see how that would dox anybody. Yeah, maybe I'm not understanding that. I don't see that point, so we'll put that up on the shelf. Their orders that are refunded fully, so thank you for making yourself look worse. Ooh, got him. Yeah, I'm sure that even if the customers came forward, that'd be really good. You can use order numbers to social engineer. Yeah, I mean, that's true, right? I mean, it doesn't adhere. That doesn't just flat out dox him, right? Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how it works, so put it on the shelf. Again, it's a very, it's a point in here, but there's a million other points that are bad too. Yeah, maybe it's something that wasn't shown in the doc. These orders that aren't refunded fully. Also, an ad that never showed me all my orders. Asked you guys to fix the label and it's made worse with all my personal info along with my username. Call it what you want. Yeah, and that's one of the most egregious parts as well, too. You literally missed the most thing in your docs. I don't know why you made it rather than saying sorry and fixing things you just haven't fixed. Absolutely. My job put you in the negatives because of you and only you and everything else you were doing. That's true. And she's kind of responded to my doc. Maybe responded to the rest of the girl stuff as well. Because I know for a fact him resolved everything. Sorry to say, yep. And yes, it is putting random things in people's orders. I've seen it. You brought it out of nowhere. I'm not angry. I haven't been throughout that post. My post was not emotional, it was clear and concise with evidence for your claims, so I'm admitting my own faults. Dude, it wasn't a very good document. Cat, was this document, was it very good at refuting everything? Yes or no? Order numbers aren't doxing to provide no information. It's relevant to anyone but me. Other names are crossed out to not dox him. Okay, so he's saying it's just order numbers for him. I mean, maybe that's true, right? You throw a federal crime around like clockwork, no one is doxing you by. I mean, you did reveal her personal information and put her in harm's way, so actually, you're not really telling the truth here. I'm not addressing the other docs because I'm handling it privately, you know, like I mentioned. Forced to make this because you brought it up after months of being past the Google Doc phase. But you didn't even read anything. I admitted to it because what am I going to do? Lie. All the docs I'm still going to lie. My teams are still open and you're the one choosing to do this, not me. Again, dude, the reason that this can't... Why is the wheel up? The reason all of this is happening is because you failed to do what you're supposed to do months ago. I'm sorry, dude. That's it. There's no more to this, right? There's literally no more to this. You have to own the things that you did, dude. And sadly, because of your inactivity to deal with it, now we're all sitting here having to look at these Google Doc keys. My face is stretched out. I look horrible. Yeah, I just like a partial, like, I don't know. I feel like they lack a lot of insight, and their document was not very good at addressing a lot of Hydra's issues. On top of this, well, Hydra had, you know, was straight up just add her personal information tied to her VTuber. That's beyond fucked up. You have a lot of moral, ethical obligation not to do that as a business owner as well. You haven't 100% righted all these orders. Nah, dude, you need to stop responding. Get back in the fucking room and just start fucking pumping out these orders, dude. I'm sorry. To be honest, as somebody who's been a part of this process and shipped out tons of orders, for it to take a year and a half, you're fucking around, dude. I'm sorry. What do you say, 1,300 orders? $1,200? You're fucking around, dude. I'm gonna be real. I'm sorry, dude. I know you've done some cool stuff in the past, but this is accountability time. This is follow through, make things right, and then maybe there could be a conversation later. But for right now, I don't think it's gonna happen, dude. I don't think you're gonna get it. So, wow. What a fucking crazy ass story, chat. I mean, even from the Lala rap stuff all the way to this as well. I mean, just absolutely wild, guys. I just I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I really hope my message here today is I really hope Hydra gets her stuff. She obviously never deserved to deal with any of this. I hope that of course, her community gets their refunds. And I hope that this is made right. Wow. Yeah, I think so, Shadow Dragon. I know that he had, like, they did Cinder's merch as well, so, wow. Absolutely crazy, guys. Well, thank you all so much for being here and talking about everything today. I appreciate you all so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this new segment. Thank you for keeping everything mature. I know we touched on some politics today, so thank you guys for, you know, chilling out when I asked you to. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope that you take it easy. And I will see you all tonight for community night, okay? Please have a great one. Great rest of your day. And let's go see Astria for her beautiful singing. And she's also playing High Guard. So I'll see you guys around, okay? Bye, YouTube. See you later, guys. Bye, Twitter. Bye, Twitch. Now get the fuck out of my sight.